It's only going to be 2 hours. You'll be okay.
Is it really 2 hours?
Well, we start talking before you know it.
Yeah.
We got items of interest, and I'll explain everything.
Right on, right on.
Hey, welcome back to another Dead Air. Hello, Brian. How are you?
Good. How are you doing, buddy?
Wow. Welcome, everybody. Today's episode, presentation, number, log, preview, TED Talk, you name it, number 55, whatever you want to call it. And I've got some great guests today, some very exciting guests, the lovely, talented, and beautiful Tom Hester. And, of course, the lovely and talented Felicia Michaels. Hello to you two. Tom, I just met you last night for the first time, but we're going to get into your history. You have a very, very dynamic, eclectic history. Some of the people that you know, you're a comic in your own right. And Bill Hicks, I guess, I'll just put a teaser out there. You were tight with the famous, talented, avant-garde, before his time, saying what was on his mind.
Yeah.
And saying it with... what is it called? Sometimes I'm lost for words. Fervor and constitution or something. It's not the word I'm looking for, of course. I know it up here, but it doesn't translate. And Felicia Michaels, who I've known for quite some time. And more recently.
Yeah.
And I've seen you on the television. I don't know how many stand-up performances on the television.
Back in the day.
You are, you know the deal. You probably know where to stand and everything. No producer or director has to tell you. You say, I've done this before. Thank you.
I don't know about that, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
And so we'll get together with that. We've got we were going to have another guest, Danny Brown. He's not with us. He must be on his way. I had a problem getting here. This is the first time my truck is fixed now. I drove my truck for the first time to the studio, and I got off the freeway for whatever reason by error. And the GPS never put me back on the freeway. So I got the whole tour, the water park, the water park on Pflugerville. Pflugerville. And it just took me the whole... But I got here at 3, just the time that you cats showed up. And it worked out just
sounds
well.
like a Dr. Seuss town, doesn't
really
it?
Is.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
really is.
But everything's brand new. Everything's brand new.
Yeah.
A lot of construction, a lot of brand new apartment complexes. Not in this neighborhood, of course, but on the way, right, left, everywhere you look. I mean, Austin is. You might as well start calling it LA2.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
If you want, without offending anyone.
Yeah.
But so let's get right down to it.
All right,
I guess.
I just got news that Danny Brown said something came up. He can't make it, but he'll do it again soon or next week or something.
Oh,
like
I'm gonna call him. I'm gonna call him. I'm set shit straight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if I can cuss. But.
Yeah, that accent will really scare Danny Brown.
Yeah. Well, it should. It's Austin.
You're rich, so we'll get into that. Let's do what we normally do to ensure that we get truth and definition. We usually swear in our guests. You haven't been on Dead Air before, so you can pick the Yellow Pages, the Bible, or the Quran to swear in. It's up to you.
I'll take the Yellow Pages.
Yeah, Yellow Pages is very popular today. Well, you're not the first who's picked the Yellow Pages. We've had some strippers picking the Yellow Pages, and just a host. It's wow.
Religion's on the way out, right?
Right after the Yellow Pages.
Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God while you're on Dead Air?
No.
Well, you're on the Yellow Pages, so that works.
That
works. It doesn't matter what you say. It's the Yellow Pages.
Right.
How about you, Tom? I suspect that you might want to do the Bible.
I think I want to go with Yellow Pages.
Yellow Pages! Oh, you're both going to hell! You're both going to fucking hell!
I was raised Baptist, and I was beat with one of those books. So.
Oh, okay. So you've got a little reservations there. Tom, do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God while you're on Dead Air?
I swear.
Dynamite.
Oh my God,
All
he never
right.
tells the truth.
I'm just saying this interview got a lot less interesting.
Okay.
Now, how long have you known each other?
We met when I probably 1987, 88.
Wow, that's when I
Yeah.
started
Yeah.
comedy, 1988.
Yeah, it's like a few years after I started comedy, and I started middling all over the place. And then I middled a lot, like in Arizona and then Texas. And I think that's where we met when It was before I was headlining.
So you met multiple times on the road?
Yeah, because and it was like Austin in the late '80s, early '90s had one of the like best comedy benches that there was. A lot of
Say that again,
people-
I'm sorry.
Like the Austin comedy scene,
Oh, I see.
the
Right,
Austin
okay.
comedy bench was very strong then. You know, you had a lot of people coming up then, and a lot of writers and just interesting folks. So and they were different because LA, not everyone hung out unless drugs were involved, and in Austin, drugs were involved, but it wasn't necessary.
Right.
But it was a lot of fun. Like we would go jet skiing on the river, and just had a lot of fun back then. Right?
Yeah, we used to hang out after the shows and all that between
Yeah.
the
And
shows.
what time frame? What years is this about?
Probably like
87, 88, something like
88,
that.
Okay,
88.
so,
yeah, right
uh,
around that time.
Tell us a little about yourself. Felicia, if you want to tell us. No, continuous mental blocks. Continuous.
that's
It
okay.
just comes
Yeah.
with. It just comes with the.
You know what it is too?
territory.
Having sitting around for a fucking year, you know what I mean, is not helpful. That's all I gotta say. But here, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I think
Whatever you wanna
you
divulge,
and Brian
you're a
are the
comic.
most handsome men in this room right now, and I'm very excited to be
I
here.
really, I appreciate that.
But I've been doing comedy since 1985. Actually, a little earlier, but I had to wait till I was 21 because there wasn't a lot of open mics, and it was really hard to get into clubs. Tom, how long have you been doing comedy?
I started when I was 16
Get
years
in that
old.
mic, Tom, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I turned pro when I was like 19, but yeah, I used to go to the comedy workshop when I was a kid.
Did you
like
say
in high
turn?
school.
Say turn pro?
Yeah, turned pro when I
Oh,
was like
cool!
19.
I never heard it put like that. But as soon as you start getting paid, you are a professional.
And I waited until I was like a middle act. Yeah, because
Yeah.
opening acts didn't make up money and all that. So
Tom was telling me this story about when he started at the Houston Comedy Workshop. Who else was in high school doing comedy?
Oh,
then?
Bill Hicks was in high school then.
Yeah, and they had to get letters from their parents. Right?
Yeah, you had to sign a thing, and you had to have your parents sign it and give them the phone number because you're underage working at a club. So I'm sitting there in my little Fiat X19 because I thought it was something back then, and like that. And I was telling Hicks, I was like, "Man, I'm afraid that they're gonna call my parents or whatever." And he goes, "You gave them the real phone number?" He goes, "Did you fake the signature?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Why didn't you fake the number?"
Yeah, I could see him saying something like that.
Yeah, why didn't you
Wow.
fake the number? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, where you originally from, Felicia?
I'm an Army brat, so I grew up a little bit everywhere. I was born in Kansas, but my mother was from Berlin, Germany, but I lived all over, a long time in Colorado, Fort Carson, near Fort Carson, true Army brat, and Berlin, because my mother was from there, and then Los Angeles.
So your dad fell in love with a European.
He fell in love with two German chicks. That's how fucking twisted he is. You know what I mean? He was from Oklahoma. And
What rank was he when he retired?
well, he was kind of asked to leave the Army.
Who hasn't been asked to leave from just about everything?
Right.
You know, it's just there's like three types of people: people that can get the job, and you don't hear a peep out of them for 30 years. It's like they act like a new employee, even in their 29th year.
Right.
And they're the ones who can't get the job, and then the ones who get the job and then just continually fuck up their whole fucking career until they get to the point where they have to just cut that person. And I'm not talking about anything personal or anything. That has nothing to do with me. You have to believe me. And so he was asked to leave. That was a nice way to put it.
Yeah, that's a nice way. Well, his thing, because he worked at the, after he did 2 tours of Vietnam, and afterwards he was like a supply sergeant. So overseas in the 70s, you know, that was rife with black market
shit,
activities. Yeah. Did you ever see that movie about Army guys in Germany with Joaquin Phoenix? There's like this movie, and it's about in the
supply
70s,
sergeant.
it's about the big scams that they would do anything to make money, and it was totally like
Yeah,
that.
even when I was on Okinawa during the Air Force, this is in the early 80s, and I had friends who would, those big bottles of Seagrams,
Seagrams, yeah.
Seagrams, they would go to the package store, which was we in Long Island we called it the distributor.
Right.
But in the Midwest they call it a package store on base.
Yeah.
And he would get those big bottles of Seagrams and sell them to the bars downtown in Okinawa for like much more than you would get them for peanuts on base.
I 100 could see that. I've actually been in Okinawa. I did a gig with Robert Schimmel. Do you remember?
Oh,
Robert
yes,
Schimmel?
poor. He got sick as well.
Yeah,
Damn.
Robert Schimmel,
he was a domino. I mean, he was unbelievable.
He was dynamite for sure, yeah.
God, he was funny.
Yeah. I have a video floating around. Do you remember Schimmel at all, Redban?
Yeah, that was the first person I ever saw do stand-up comedy.
Get out of
Yeah.
here,
Oh, wow.
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I started off good.
But he was just an awesome guy. But I have a video somewhere where he is playing piano like Rachmaninoff or something with his fucking nose. I need to look for that video. I have that somewhere floating around. He was a trip. He was one of those guys, you got on the plane, he's like, take these 2 muscle relaxants, these 3 Valiums, I'll see you in 20 hours. Yeah, he was a trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, great guy.
He used to talk about all sorts of funny stuff.
Yeah. He was like the filthiest comic ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He used to talk about, when you had to go number 2, and then he was concerned about that.
Whether it floats or not.
That dirty water maybe splashing back up into your rectum. He thought that was a problem. Which it is.
Okay. I mean, he wasn't wrong.
So, wow. And
I've hovered ever since.
so where have all the places you've lived with your stand-up comedies? Basically L.A., of course.
Los Angeles. I actually started in Colorado when I was 18. I was a stripper. This is my tried and true origin story that I always throw out. But I was a stripper when I was 18, and I met a comedian in a strip club called the Peppermint Lounge. And then we lived together, and he dared me to do comedy, and I tried it. And then once I tried it, it was like the first thing I ever did where it actually went well. Like, I was never like a talented kid, you know what I mean? Like, I was always last on the tennis team, last on the gymnastic team, couldn't draw, like all these things, right?
And I think a little bit because you were probably a little bit disinterested in those activities, perhaps.
Right, well,
you have a little flair about you, like you could give a shit about doing that.
No, I was pretty earnest. I was sadly earnest, but just terrible. And stand-up was just an accidental thing that I stumbled across, and then I did it for a few months, and then was like, "Fuck these people, I'm out." And then I went to LA, and then I couldn't get on stage. So, because I wasn't 21, I went to the Comedy Store, and the door guys, because there wasn't a lot of women then, I was like, I'm trying to be comic, and they were like, get the fuck out of here. Okay. So come back when you're 21, dummy. All right. And that's what I did. And during that time I had to wait like 3 years to be able to even get into the clubs. There wasn't a lot of open mics. I did some, but there wasn't a lot of those. But
Not like today, huh?
Not like today, but there's thank goodness, a million open mics. People are so lucky, And then one of the first jobs I had was I worked at a taxi dancing place in downtown LA. It was a place that was specifically for Asian mobsters. And so, have you ever been in a tax dancing place? It's like old school stuff. Like you go into like a disco, right? And you walk in, and you pay your fee to get in, and then there's like a big disco room, and then there's the television room. Never go in the television room, right?
It's not TV.
It's not. Well, there is TV, but there's a lot of other stuff. And then they would walk around the corner, and then you would be like 15 girls like sitting like all in a row, and then they would pick you, and then sometimes they'd pick 4 or 5. It was like a business thing. They would pick 4 or 5 people, and then you would go and listen to them speak business in Chinese, and sometimes you would dance or go to the television room, which I avoided at all cost. And it was like a crazy time.
How long did you do that?
I did that for about 6 months. But then,
not 6 years.
No, not 6 years. No. But I became, God, can you imagine doing that for 6 fucking years? But then I became friends with the most pretty girl there, who was this girl named Tori. She looked like, you remember that movie Star 80, where it was Peter Bogdanovich's girlfriend that got murdered by her Canadian ex-husband?
Vaguely.
She was a Playboy model. But my friend Tori that was like right when all that happened. She looked exactly like her. And then, but then the weird thing is you would be sitting there And then women would like try to like sell you off, like, you know, like you're a piece of ass to the mobsters. Right? I'm totally serious. Like, this had to have been 1983, 84, right? And so I met this mobster named Jimmy, who was the boyfriend of my friend Tori, and he would fly us into Tahoe, and they would play mahjong, and he would lose like hundreds of thousands of dollars, and he would give us like thousands to go shopping or whatever. But he was the first person I ever saw in my entire life that had a cell phone. He had like a 67 like beautiful Malibu that had been all done.
But he didn't require you to have sex, so that was nice.
Oh no, but my friend Tori had to.
Right.
Yeah, dude puts you on the private plane, you're having sex. You know
Right.
what I mean? Yeah.
You're just not going to sit there
Right. Yeah, it was a
and
crazy
look out the
time.
window and eat their snacks. You're gonna have to give up that ass.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that bumper sticker you see. What is it? No grass or no ass, no ride or something.
Yeah,
You know
no
that-
grass, no ass, no ride. No gas, no ass.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Never seen one on an airplane, but yeah.
But then I met this girl, Raven, right? And she was one of the most beautiful women in the world. And she's like, hey, you want to go party with some guys? And I was like, I was new to LA, but I met her in that place. And I was like, yeah. And she's like, okay. This is before like GPS and all that. She's like, meet me at this hotel in the Palisades. I'll drive you up to the Palisades. I do all that. I get to this mansion in the Pacific Palisades in Los Angeles. And we go in, and there's like 8 guys and Raven and me. And they had like some world famous sushi chef. It was the first time I ever ate sushi. But one of the guys, they're all Asian, one of the guys had green eyes, right? And so it turned out that guy was kind of into me, but I was all like, you know, like the alarms go off, like, what the fuck, right? And then Raven's like, look, that guy likes you. You don't have to sleep with him. Just be cool. But I got business to do with these other guys. I'm going to go downstairs, and then I'll meet you, and then we'll drive off, because I didn't have my car because I met her at a hotel, right? So then the guy is like, hey, you want to go swimming? And I'm like, no, it's okay, you know. And he's like, no, how about a sauna? You want to go into a sauna? I'm all like I'm fucking 18 years old, like, okay, I'll go in the sauna. I'm just waiting for Raven. And then the guy starts fucking pinching me and like kind of hitting me a little bit, right?
Well, thank you, Felicia, for that story. Thank you for listening to Dead Air this week. We've run out of time.
Did you just?
We've run out of fucking time. I mean, that's a great story, but
Really?
Is it going to be over soon?
Well, no, but it has a great ending.
I thought you came.
Okay. You didn't let me get to that part. So anyway, the guy is super drunk, right? So we go into this master bedroom, right?
Okay.
And I'm all like, Mommy, what do I do, right? He miraculously passes out. I sneak downstairs. Raven is sitting there. They're all playing mahjong, right? And Raven like has had sex with like 5 of them, right? I'm not even exaggerating. And I'm like, we gotta get the fuck out of here. And she's like, I got one more guy. I'm gonna come get you. And I was like, you gotta promise, right? So I go back upstairs. Dude is passed out, right? There was a couch because it was master suite. I'm sitting there. I fall asleep. I'm almost there. I fall asleep, right? Wake up the next morning to children and women laughing. And I'm all like, what the fuck? And I wake him up, right? And he's like, oh. Calls on his phone, first phone I ever see. Gives me $1,000. Someone picks me up the side, and then I split. So I wasn't technically a prostitute, but I made $1,000. That was huge when you're 18.
Yeah.
Back then,
It was worth like $3,000 or $4,000. Yeah, it was crazy.
That's awesome.
Can you beat that story, Tom?
I cannot beat that story. I don't
And
think.
I was that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Do you have his number?
Yeah, right.
Do you still got money?
What did he do?
I like private jets.
His parents owned some, literally like, not Singapore Airlines, but some airline, and his mother was Russian and he was Chinese.
Wow.
That's why he had the green eyes.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but those are the girls that did that got trafficked. A lot of those girls got trafficked overseas, that were hanging out in that situation.
Yeah.
And there was one girl that had alopecia, and I fucking had to give it to her, Sitting there waiting for a guy to pick you out, and she had no hair, no eyebrows.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Was that? I'm not familiar with that condition.
That means like your hair doesn't grow. But it was like, wow, that's crazy.
That might work in the 80s, though.
It was a funky thing. Yeah.
Sometimes that's the only way that foreign women can get to America is maybe go through the jump through those hoops in the beginning, and you have to ask yourself, as bad as it sounds, and it is it worth it to get eventually to, cut hair and have a car and date a cop and live in the valley?
Well, that's
Or stay in the rice
a deep
paddy.
fucking question.
Or stay in the rice paddy
Right.
with no security.
Fuck, stay in the Midwest. You know what I mean? Shit. You know what I mean?
See, that's the thing. I don't know about.
She's
the
making
valley.
fun of the Midwest. She's making fun of you, Tom. She just threw you under the fucking bus, Tom.
I'm mid-south, but I'll still take it.
Now, where are you from originally?
I was born in Pasadena, Texas, a little suburb of Houston. Yeah, so I grew up in Houston, kind of, and my dad had a ranch, so we went back and forth. Texas, ranches, that kind of thing. But yeah, and I grew up in Houston, and because I'll tell you this interesting one. When I was a kid, I told my parents when I was like 16 years old that I was going to run away from home, and they were like, "Okay."
Have a nice walk.
But they had like a house in Houston and stuff. They go, "You got to do that. You got to check in with your sister and all that kind of stuff." So that's when I started going hanging out at the comedy workshop and stuff when I was a kid, and then I went back to Houston and I was telling all my friends like, "I'm a comedian," and they're like, "Yeah, right." And I'm like, "No, I am." They're like, "No, you're not." I was like, look at that Fiat X19. Yeah, you don't buy one of those. That's your comedian. So I was making some good money, so that was nice.
Was the Laugh Stop your home club growing up?
The comedy workshop was my home club, but I used to play the Laugh Stop a lot.
I love the Laugh Stop.
Yeah.
That
right around the
stop was
corner.
So awesome. I did my first comedy CD there. It was like a lot of people did. That was like one of the first clubs that would allow you to tape like that. It was such a great club.
Oh, let's go over the weather real quick. We like to give the weather report on Dead Air. It's 86 degrees, 30 degrees Celsius, 55 degrees is the dew point, 12.8 degrees Celsius. The winds are out of the northeast at 5 miles an hour, and it's a waning crescent moon this evening. Sunset will be at 8:12 p.m. The humidity is 36%, and the UV ultraviolet rays is 10, so that's not too bad. And air quality is 51 or moderate, so that's good news. And the visibility, of course, is 10 miles an hour. And the sad news is this is May 6th weather report. I was running late, and I didn't get a chance to do today's.
Well, it's 80 degrees. The humidity is 50%. Partly cloudy, and this weekend it's going to go through some more thunderstorms starting on Sunday.
Thank you, Brian. Yeah, I was just running late. There was a woman who was 94. She passed away on my hometown block on Long Island, so I got a phone call from one of the neighbors still living on Ward Lane in Wantor. So honesty is the best policy. I wouldn't try to read May 6th weather today without saying that it's not today's weather,
Okay, fair enough.
So
Can I give the wildlife report from my backyard? Because there will be a deer that will drink all the bird bath, because I have to refill every day, and there will be a squirrel that will scratch at the window until I give it a peanut, and then the other squirrel will get mad because he didn't get a peanut. So that's the wildlife report.
I cannot believe you interrupted me almost turning into a prostitute for May 6th weather report. I mean, that is some fucked up shit.
They didn't even say moist.
And I'm glad you were honest with your beginnings. I'm very reluctant to ask people about stuff that I might know about them, because sometimes people want to put that away in a closet and forget about it and don't want it brought up.
Yeah.
Right. I used to feel that way because after that experience, I was like, taxi dancing is rough. I'm going to go back to stripping at the airport. But it was a great experience for me personally because, number one, you shouldn't be a stripper longer than it takes to Oh my God, look at that.
Look at that.
You shouldn't be a stripper longer than it takes to get a college degree. That's the first rule. Listen to that.
Okay. Say that again. That's a good one. You
shouldn't be a stripper longer than it takes to get a college degree. Yeah.
You're looking at me because you don't believe this is my natural
That's
speaking voice.
horrendous.
Like you don't believe me. No, you don't.
Wow.
But this is
Yeah.
I can change it. I can make it lower. I can make it higher. But people never believe me. Sometimes people get belligerent. That can't be your voice. It's
That's
not
so frightening.
natural. No, look, I have a helium tank stuck up my butt.
It wasn't genius, but it was me.
Back then it was genius, in the 80s.
Jesus.
It was funny and raw and honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what made it work.
I don't know
What is this, MTV or HBO?
I
or something?
I don't know what this is.
When you do
I
that
remember
many
that
television appearances,
Yeah, they
you're
were-
trying to forget which one is which.
Yeah, because during that period, it was, this might have been 1990. During that
MTV.
period, I did a lot of TV. So, yeah, it must have been MTV because it's Ken Ober. Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
forgot about Ken.
And then I moved to New York. And I was like, hey, everybody, how's it going? And they were like, what the fuck is this? And then I had to be my real self. They were not having it.
How long did you live in New York?
I lived in New York like 9 years. Yeah. It
Wow,
was
that's
great.
good. What was your address?
I lived on the 85th between West End and Riverside. And
Oh,
then
that's nice.
59 between 9th and 10th.
You live any place else in your life, Tom? You're
Oh, yeah, I've lived in L.A. a couple times. I've lived in a couple of places, but yeah. Yeah, I've moved around.
places near,
I always
fresh
end up,
vegetables.
Yeah,
and
but I
stuff
always
like that?
end up coming back
Seems like
to
a healthy
Houston or to
guy,
Austin,
yeah.
one of the two. Yeah, but
Yeah.
Austin, I love Austin because the thing is, people are just figuring out that this is a great friggin' town, and the audiences, they're like present, like they're right in your, like they're not auditioning you. You know what I mean? They're actually
No, they're
they want
not. I
to see
get
your
the
show.
same
Yeah, they
feeling.
want to see the show. Yeah, they're
They
not.
didn't-
They're not seeing where you're going to go or what's going to happen in your career. They're like Willie Nelson when he sings. They want to hear what he has to say. Like they don't care he's Willie Nelson. Like just say it.
LA,
That's what I love about this town.
In LA, some of the audience members come to be discovered.
Right.
Austin, you
That's a
come
good
to
way
be
to put it.
forgotten.
Yeah.
And I want to just mention one thing. We had this little hiccup. You know, stand-up comedy. Just briefly, is you wouldn't go into a museum and not like a painting or a sculpture, or be offended by it. Perhaps you would just move on.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't burn down the museum.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same thing with stand-up comedy. People are taking it out of context. It's art. It's whatever that person wants to say or do.
Yeah. It's a
And
thought process.
I don't like soap operas. I'm offended by soap operas, the way that everybody's fucking everybody they're not supposed to be fucking.
Yeah.
So I don't watch soap operas. I don't know if that's a good analogy. Perhaps it sounded good on the way in that truck.
No, I totally feel what you're saying. I think
They're trying to,
yeah.
the thought police. Read the book 1984, George Orwell.
Right,
They're trying
right.
to stifle. You know, this is. You know, I don't think I'm going out on a limb by calling it art.
Right.
It's art.
Yeah,
it's art.
And
absolutely.
art is whatever the person producing it, whether it's a bust in clay or a painting or a comedy show.
Yeah.
And this woke thing is getting out of control. And I think Tony was backstabbed by this gentleman. Usually a comic who has a problem with somebody, they talk to them about it.
Right.
They don't
right.
fucking call CNN. And if they do, then they have an agenda and they have a motive that's not sincere. So I just wanted to, I don't want to talk about it much, but I thought not talking about it would be negligent on my part. What do you think, Brian?
Well, it was one good thing that's happened in the last 24 hours is that originally it was just this 23-second clip that everyone was judging Tony for and canceling Tony for. Ari Shaffir posted last night the full set of the Asian comedian followed by the full set of Tony's act, and it makes a lot more sense. Tony was actually making fun of the audience for laughing at, and stuff like that. It's a very interesting thing. So if you had watched that 23-second clip, I highly recommend checking out the full thing now because it totally changes a lot of people's thoughts, I think. And the fact that Peng, the Asian comic, used to open up for Tony Hinchcliffe, used to be a friend of Tony Hinchcliffe, even did New Year's shows with Tony. That Peng had Tony in his bio on his website, listed on the second line, opened up for Tony Hinchcliffe. So the fact that they were friends, supposedly, is the thing that really bugs me because that was not advertised. It was like almost like Tony just did this to this random Asian comic,
Right,
and
right.
stuff. And so, yeah, I think this Peng guy really was trying to get a paycheck or recognition for this, and he was just helping himself too. You know,
Yeah, he wanted to get on TMZ.
Yeah.
And the media is at fault, too, and TMZ is at fault. They just want dirt, and they don't care where they get it and where it comes from. Soundbite or no soundbite, they take it. They want to make money. They have to have bad news.
Right. Can I be honest? Because it's
Sure. You sworn. It's Yellow Pages, so we don't know if if you're really going to be honest or not. We have no idea. That's why it's so important. But with the Yellow Pages,
right.
you could be talking.
Yeah. You know, I'm a big, like, this past year and a half has been such a fucking rude awakening for everybody. And I was like one of those people fucking, losing my shit over everything. And I had to get to the point where I was like, you know what? 2 and 3 things can be true at the same time. It was very interesting last night to have a conversation with a lot of people about this. And to be in a circle with people and have a conversation of, yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I get what the woke people are saying. I get it from Tony's point of view. I think a lot of things can be true at the same time. And I think a lot of lessons can be learned. And it's unfortunate that the thing that irritates me about everything is like people don't leave redemption on the table when they get mad at someone. There has to be, you can't just cancel off someone permanently. There has, like what happened to a second chance? You know what I mean? I do believe in that too. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, but I hear what those people are saying too. And I think it's an interesting conversation. And and I don't think you guys are wrong, but I don't think other people are wrong either. And I think lessons had to be learned. I mean, if we're gonna have an honest conversation, but.
I wish he would have had an honest conversation with Tony.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That is 100% fair. That is 100% fair.
Yeah, last night they stopped me from taking pictures of Felicia. I was taking pictures with my iPhone, and they said, "No, we can't have that in the club anymore."
Yeah,
and I was like,
because that's fucked up too.
Yeah.
I'm not selling them or anything unless you go to eBay.
Yeah, I think though that's what the future is though for a lot of these comedy clubs is those bags where you put your phones in and stuff like that. Unfortunately, but
because I mean it is unfair to take something out of context, but don't put yourself in the position of, throwing gasoline on people's torches when people got fucking torches now. You know what I mean? I think both things can be true at the same time. Is that wrong to say? I don't want to get canceled
nothing's wrong to say.
by all my comedy friends who are the coolest people.
my takeaway is, you're kind of, you got your, you're giving everybody a break.
Because we're more alike than we're not, and maybe a lesson needed to be learned. It's terrible. It's caused that much pain. The guy is going to feel pain who did that. It's not going to end well. You know what I mean? But I do think everyone has a valid point. Everyone if you're in a circle with 4 people having a discussion, everyone has a different take, like how Brian has, like how you have, how Tom has, how I have, and I think everybody's right. But what now?
Well, it's like a movie. They go to movies, they watch the most violent, garbage, sexual content there is. And they go to the movie and they love it, and they buy popcorn and they have soda and they leave. And they take zero offense because they know it's a movie.
It's art.
Now, my point
That's
is,
fair.
it's a comedy show. And I feel the comics or the comedy show should get the same privilege as a fucking movie.
I think that's fair too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I don't think it's fair for people to take videos and try to ruin people's career and take things out. It's always taken out of content. It's just always.
Yeah. I want somebody to ruin my career. I'd like to be on TMZ.
I know.
It's been so long since I've been on TV.
he's been fucking those squirrels.
Squirrel fucker.
Because my act, by the way,
you're
I can't do my act anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I think about jokes I did in the late 80s, and it's kind of cringeworthy. I've had there are like 1 or 2 moments in my life where I had to learn a big lesson. That was part of the conversation with a lot of people last night who are in the know. It's like, especially if you've been at it a while, there are things you've said, Brian, I'm sure in 1992 or whatever, where now looking back, you might be like, well, that's a little. I mean, I certainly feel that way about my act, but thank God we came up in an era where not everybody had a camera in their pocket. You know what I mean? But we learned that lesson without being punished. You know, like I think there should be a path to redemption, but the person has to be willing to get on the path at the same time. You know.
All right. Anybody, you want to add anything to this, Tom?
Yeah, I want to add this that like years ago or whatever, we all thought that our clothes looked good and our hair looked good, and now we think it does, but it doesn't. You got to wait 10 years.
What the fuck are you talking about, Tom?
I'm just saying, we look back at our past, we always look at our hair, and we thought our hair looked great then.
Right.
Yeah,
Or
and
just
now
meaning the jokes we thought were so pristine,
So-
and now they're kind of cringeworthy, like some of the jokes. You mean?
Exactly, yeah. Like look at the fucking clothes I'm wearing. Like, what the fuck was I thinking?
Or like the movie Breakfast at Tiffany when Mickey Rooney played the Asian guy, right? Like at the time it was like, yeah, Mickey Rooney, but now it's like, ooh.
Well, the rape scene in America Today. What was it?
American Beauty?
What was the rape scene? That famous, great rape scene in with.
I don't have rape scenes on the top of my head.
What's your favorite rape scene?
Clint Eastwood in The Bond. That's a good one.
In the what?
You know, with Clint Eastwood, where the woman knocks the cigar out of his face, and he just grabs her into the Bond, and I think he might have raped her. That's a pretty good scene, huh?
I don't know.
Yeah, just no. I just want to make. I just want to.
don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
I can't win on that.
Is this TMZ quality, the video? I'm just
Yes,
making
it
sure.
is.
Okay, then.
It's
that-
just
yeah,
that
it was
stand-up
great
comedy is the last bastion of,
Fair
of
enough.
free speech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
they're trying to curtail it because of their own selfish and you know. It's like what politicians try to do to women with the abortion issue. That's a gray issue. But I cannot tell a woman what to do with her body. Who am I to tell a woman to carry a baby to term or not?
Well,
And I think it's the same thing with comedy. I mean, come on. Can you really tell somebody what they can say? Now, if the person wants to say, let's move on. This is a rabbit hole.
No.
This gets to be a rabbit hole.
I just want to say the last thing I want to say.
You're covering all bases. I think that's the problem. You're kind of giving the woke people a pass. You're giving the dog is up top now. The dog is up here.
Oh, there he goes.
You're kind of just giving an umbrella type.
Because like we're so fucking divided already, and I'm gonna.
Yeah.
This is the last thing I'm gonna say about it, and then absolutely let's move on. But like all my fucking career, I can't tell you 1,000 times since 1984, I've been introduced or taken off the stage by, yeah, you know, she can tell a joke, but how about her tits and all that.
Right.
I just had that 6 months ago. I'm an old fucking lady, and I still gotta tolerate that shit. Like,
Right.
even if it's someone I know, I still gotta tolerate that. You know, like, so I get all sides, and we've been
Right.
through 2
Okay.
years of being so fucking divided.
I agree with you
Let's
on that.
just listen to all sides, you know?
Right.
Anyway.
I just
Jesus, whose dick I gotta suck to change this fucking subject?
over here. May 14th in history today. May 14th, 1948, the state of Israel was established. So our hats are off to the state of Israel. And 1973, the first space station, the U.S. Skylab, was launched.
Oh, wow.
And somebody said, that's great. And somebody said, I don't want you to say great. Say greatest. And the last one, 1998, was the last episode of Seinfeld.
Oh, wow.
What a run he had, huh?
You know, speaking of the space program, when I was 17 years old, I was raped by an Asian guy. No, when I was 17 years old.
In space. It was in space.
And it was fucking awesome. But when I was 17...
You had to Velcro you down.
Oh, God. I just remember those days. When I was 17, I got to see at the Air Force Academy Bob Hope do comedy, and he did a joke about Sally Ride, and the punchline, do you remember Sally Ride, the first teacher
Right.
asked...
Yeah, she lost her life.
Yeah, it was like a few weeks before that, and Bob Hope's punchline was, Sally Ride, her name's Ride, that's why they picked her. They're not going to pick Sally ran out of gas. It was a Bob Hope joke. How crazy is that? He was like 106 years old. Oh, Sally ran out of gas.
Don Barris and I went to see Bob Hope at the
You did?
Tower Records when he was signing a thing at a table. And he was so old
Yeah.
that I guess his daughter, must have been his daughter.
Or 15th wife.
Yeah, he was having a lot of sex with those entertainers during the war, I think, wasn't he? He must have
I
been.
don't know.
You know, all
course.
I don't know.
those beautiful girls that he took
don't know.
flew around all over the place.
Anything's possible.
You can't be in the plane and just sitting there. Now listen.
Well, if you're Brian Holtzman, no. I remember that story you told about when you came on the Liars Club and you told a story about having sex in the bathroom.
Right. I was the only one in the bathroom. No, I don't know how they do that. How do you get two
how do you
people
do
to
that?
fornicate in that small bathroom?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
You might get it in, but
Brian
can you get it
Redban,
out?
anybody, anything?
It's all about short girls.
Short girl, you put them up on the counter.
When I was young, I used to think a private jet was a bidet.
Tom, get the hell out of here, Tom. Get the out of it. Now this is a product that I used to have on Long Island growing up.
Oh, yeah.
They don't have them in California. And I discovered them in Texas. So,
yeah.
So now I have to have one or at least one every night before I go to bed.
Is it serious?
I love these Swiss rolls. Do you want to try
yeah.
them?
Yeah, I'll take
Yeah.
one. I
Oh,
love
they
those
are
things.
delicious. Have you ever had a Swiss roll?
Yeah, yeah.
When? When's the last time you had a Swiss roll?
It's been a while.
Yeah,
when I was
heck
a
yeah.
kid.
It's so much fun when you
Oh, they're fun when they're a little melty.
when you rediscover a product. Tom, have you had a Swiss roll?
Oh yeah, I've had one. Yeah, I like them. Yeah. Because everything's too.
Dude,
Now
that-
somebody's going to say that's derogatory. That's derogatory to Asians. You can't
no,
make.
but that was at the time high art.
How
and
about
now
that
we
guy?
Just laugh at it.
How about the guy who did the Indian voice on the cartoon, and he had to apologize.
Abu.
And
Oh,
he
yeah,
said that was
yeah.
all. This is what I mean. It's just there are people who talk like that. I live with an Indian family, and I think it's great.
Yeah, but it should be an Indian person. Maybe the point was he was
Wow,
making. Is
so
it
you're
should be
kind
an-
of woke, honey. You're kind of woke.
I'm not woke. I did fuck my hairbrush at Burning Man on Molly. I'm not that fucking woke.
So you really think that if they're portraying an Indian, that they have to hire an Indian to do that voice?
I think they should be open to it 100%.
I think they can hire whoever the fuck they want to hire.
That's very true too.
Well, see, you never really want to make a definitive answer
I'll
on
make a
anything.
definitive
you see what I'm
answer.
saying here?
Let's just not talk about Asians or rape, and I'll give you a definitive answer.
And yet I did a rape joke last night.
Yeah.
Sad, but I did one. Yeah.
Rape jokes?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
they're
did
great.
one. But it was
Oh
me
my
being
God,
raped,
oh my
though.
God.
See, so you can talk about it if it was.
know,
I can talk about it if it was me.
Like you've ever said
Are
no.
you saying that a rapist doesn't have a sense of humor, Tom? I'm sure there are some rapists with sense of humor.
Yeah, a lot of them do
Telling
comedy.
jokes while they rape. I don't know. Or maybe laughing, making you laugh while they rape. I don't know. It's not something you want to talk about
I'll just
publicly.
get a Pfizer
your-
shot.
That's something you want to talk about as you're about to put a Swiss roll in your mouth.
But
Because my thing is, I'll share this with you. That my partner or whatever, he's diabetic and everything, so there's like no sugar in the house. So I'm looking at that like, there's some
It's
real
about to
sugar in
happen.
that.
Thank you, kind gentleman.
There's some real sugar in that right
Are you
there.
gonna have one of these, Brian?
Of course.
we'll just stop all this talk because it's a rabbit hole. It's one of the reasons why Brian and I don't talk about politics on Dead Air, because it's just
Yeah.
a rabbit hole.
100%. I was hanging around a lot of political comics and having a great time with it and getting all angry. And then after about a year ago, it's like, am I really helping?
Thank you, bye.
You know what I mean? By just being angry all the time. Is it really helping?
No,
You know?
angry is for Asians.
La 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 la. Let me just eat my Swiss.
That's the dead air again. There's that dead air. It just keeps popping up. So let's get some items of interest.
Okay.
We do items of interest. You chime in whenever you want if you have anything to add to
Okay.
the item of interest. That's Instagram. We'll do as many as we can. I pick out some items that I think are very interesting, and I found one that was very interesting, and I think I'm going to go right to that in case we run out of time. This is one out of Australia. New South Wales has turned into a real-life horror movie, said so-and-so and so-and-so. A sudden boom in the field mouse population has sent millions of the rodents running across the state, eating everything in their path. This is a state that has already endured 3 years of drought, followed by wildfires and then floods. Farmers were counting on this year's harvest, and now the mice have stripped their fields bare. The mind boggles at what the little bastards can do, said so-and-so and so-and-so, who watched a large carpet of field mice gobble up 800 acres of wheat. These crops haven't satisfied the rodents' hunger. They have also eaten through walls, infested schools, and are nibbling people in their beds and in their homes and cars. That's where you draw the line, in the car.
In the car.
I don't want, you know how people feel about their cars.
Yeah.
You know, they'll eat a double and large French fry and 2 liters of Coke, and then they'll put some kind of fuel mixture in their engine.
Oh, wait, look at this. This is so gross.
Oh, there's not enough glue for all the mice that they need to catch. Did you see that, Tom? Tom, did you see that?
I saw that. Okay. My thing is, where are the mouse people to cancel that culture of killing mice? Where are they? They're not standing up now. And the roach people? What about roach rights? Nobody ever thinks about
animal
that.
activists, protect all the animals except cows and pigs and chickens
and roaches.
lambs and veal. Those are
look
okay.
at that.
Oh,
Jesus.
I can.
Oh my God.
And I feed mosquitoes, and people don't like it.
The smell is everywhere. Both the stink of their urine when they are alive, and the stench of their rotting bodies when they die. Disgusted, exhausted residents are looking ahead to winter's arrival in June, hoping that the cold will break the cycle. But since mice mature at 6 weeks and can have litters of pups every 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Can you believe that? It's like the wild boars out here in Texas.
So if that was here in Texas, would you guys be a mouse killer? How would you kill them? How would you do it?
You put the glue down.
You would just
and you
do
put
the
some
glue?
peanut butter.
Yeah.
You put they love peanut butter, your lettuce, any scraps from the table. You set traps, and then bam, you got them.
It's the worst. I had rats at my Burbank apartment, and it
You
was
did?
the worst because they're so smart now. Like, you put the traps down, you'll see them. Like, I had cameras and stuff to watch them. They'll like just pick the peanut butter off the trap. They'll like walk around the things. I finally had to get one of those things that was where they got electrocuted, where it's just like a box and it just fries them.
Oh.
But it was maybe the worst 6 months of my life. Like,
really?
it was horrible.
Yeah.
So like in the wintertime, they usually come in the house also. So I can't even imagine like how bad it's going to get for them. I don't think the
Yeah.
winter's going to help it any.
Yeah, I don't think it gets all that cold in a lot of Australia. I could be wrong, though.
I use snakes.
Snakes, there you go.
Yeah, just leave a couple snakes in your house.
Yeah, but then the snake, they get full. They're like, okay, I killed
But then
3
they
of them.
leave.
I got to
Then they leave.
digest for no, they don't leave.
Yeah, they do.
No, if you had 100 mice and 3 of them got killed by the snake, you think 97 of those mice would leave? Fuck, no, they wouldn't leave. They'd be like, ha-ha.
I would get
Now
like
that-
5 cats and 5 snakes.
Don't they?
Last April,
making shit up now.
Kyra Perlett from Montclair, New Jersey, kept a journal about her struggles during the pandemic. Then she sent the notebook in the mail to a stranger whom she met at a Zoom conference, and thus the traveling diary was born. Now several black and white composition notebooks are circling the globe with pandemic stories penned by more than 100 women with nothing else to do in their life, bored as hell, and they're going to bother other people with their stories from all walks of life. Each woman who receives it has 3 days to fill out the pages with drawings, writings, confessions, grievances, complaints, or musings before sending it off to the next writer. The traveling diary is making sisters out of strangers.
Sisters out of strangers.
Can everybody take a little breath before we lose our lunch over that one? I don't know why I read that one. A Michigan farmer involved in a property line dispute with a neighbor retaliated by building a 250-foot wall of cow dung. The neighbor, Wayne Limblart, says the wall creates a powerful stench on his property, but the farmer denies it.
I thought you were going to say got back at him by sending him a notebook with a story in it. That's what I thought you were gonna say.
with a fan.
With
So-
250 feet long or high.
It's a poop wall. It's a compost fence. He said. See, he messed with the wrong neighbor.
Yeah.
You know, you got to make friends with neighbors that are crazy. This guy said, "I'll get you."
Yeah. Well, that's like that. There was a guy who quit his job and his last paycheck. The employer, did you see this employer sent over
yeah.
like all the pennies? Like, really? Fuck you, man.
And they were all greasy too.
Yeah, because
They had to be cleaned first before the bank would accept them. It was a mess. That
Yeah.
guy, they must have had a falling out or something, big time.
Yeah.
I want to send him back.
There's the poop wall.
Oh, that's
my-
not a wall.
That's a lot of manure, huh, Tom?
Did Donald Trump build that? Just saying it's not a wall. Just saying. Not to get political.
Right, but he still
But it's a
has
bunch
to
of crap,
smell it
though.
too. Yeah, it is a bunch of shit.
It's a bunch of crap.
Look, that's
See,
the guy.
I bet that guy wishes he didn't mess with that guy because
Look at
look what
this
that
guy.
guy did.
Look at that reporter. It looks like he's on a story in 1957.
That's an antenna. See that on top of the
Yeah,
house? That's
yeah.
how I get my TV back in California. Yeah,
Do you really?
Oh yeah, you can get.
Oh,
it's
really?
part of the government. The government has to supply free television signals. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
You got to get the new digital one, by the way, because we have one of those at the ranch. It picks up for like 150 miles. We get like 40 channels. I'm saying it's good TV for free.
But good TV, Tom.
It's good.
It,
Good TV though.
it's dang dog great.
Former senator, politician, leader Harry Reid told the New Yorker that he had heard of for decades that aerospace giant Lockheed Martin was in the possession of retrieved materials from crashed space aliens and spacecrafts.
Do you believe in UFOs? Have you ever seen a UFO? Because I know you were in the Air Force.
I can't believe in him because there's like how many billions of people on the planet, and how many sightings do we have? And why don't they get cited in New York City where there's a lot of witnesses? Why don't they get excited? Why are they always out in the country with some nut living on a farm? No offense, Tom. You know what I mean? Kind of. There's so many people on the planet. There should be millions of these sightings.
Yeah, but lately a lot of the Air Force.
Oh,
has
look
been
at this.
saying this.
Jeez.
Oh, you just squished it. Oh, you got poop all over your arm.
That's the other thing too. Like, there's my thing too. Like what mushrooms grow wild and everything. Hallucinogenic mushrooms. Why don't they grow wild in New York? But I'm just saying they grow wild at the farm.
I'm going to give you another chance, Tom. I'm going to give you
telling you.
another chance on this podcast. This dead end podcast.
Get him, Brian. Get him.
I'm just saying that maybe that's why they see the UFOs.
That's as bad as my example of.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
That's right.
That's as bad as my example of not liking soap operas.
But you have mushrooms that grow out, psychedelic mushrooms on your ranch, right?
They grow everywhere. Yeah, everywhere in Texas.
Don't. What do they call it? Don't. You know what the people.
Don't encourage you.
Yeah, don't encourage you. You want a
guys
follow-up
want
question on that?
mushrooms? No one leaned forward when I said that.
I thought you were going to say don't narc.
Okay.
Stop being a narc.
Everybody's right. There's nobody wrong.
No, there you go.
I
See?
think that's what
How
we got out
fucking
of
hard is that to say? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody's right. Nobody's wrong.
Except for that one guy. We know him.
After a Belgian farmer moved a small rectangular stone unaware that it had marked the border between France and Belgium since 1819, the stone's relocation has expanded Belgium by 7.5 feet into former French territory, so the local mayor wants it moved back to avoid a diplomatic incident.
Oh, they don't have GPS?
There it is, Tom.
Oh,
Tom,
look at
can you
that.
see that?
Yeah.
Tom?
Wow.
With the news that a Chinese rocket would re-enter the atmosphere around
Oh,
May
yeah,
8th and crash to
yeah.
Earth, experts have said the risk of any particular individual is incredibly tiny.
Yeah, it crashed into the Indian Ocean. I've been so lonely and horny. I was hoping that rocket would crash into my clit. That's but the Indian Ocean gets all the fun.
You were cocked blocked by
By
the
a
Indian
Chinese
Ocean.
rocket.
She was rocket blocked.
After the American Society of Plastic Surgeons said there were 22% increase in butt implants in 2020, perhaps because of the lots of sitting leads to a general flattening of the buttocks.
Oh, that's what it is.
What you know what gets me is like then there was a story that came out about scientists say that men with big noses have big penises. Like we're in a fucking pandemic and that's what you worked on? You know what I mean? Like that's so fucked up.
It's true though. It's funny how that's true. All right.
See, everyone's right, Brian. Everyone's right.
Oh, you were really just. We were trying to get a definitive answer out of you,
I
and
just
you
gave you the answer.
You would not go there. You said everybody's
because
got
I truly believe that.
I know. And,
He's like, I know. Shut the fuck up.
After.
Look at that! Look at that! Oh. Was that true? The story you told about the woman's butt. Mm-hmm. So was it an implant? That
Yeah,
popped?
I think. No, she came.
What?
That like when.
Because I thought you put your hands on it and it made a weird noise.
No, it crinkled. Like it was like an old butt implant.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
gross.
What did that feel like underneath?
It felt like a
Like a bad boob job?
like a bad boob job. You know where you could feel like the boobs around the corner.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
Like that. It was like that, but big. It actually was really. It looked really bad. It looked kind of like that. If I remember
really?
correctly. She's talking about the joke that I said last night.
Yeah. That can't be comfortable. That'd be like sitting on a water
Right.
balloon
Yeah.
like the rest of your fucking life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
A man visiting the Gettysburg battlefield had to be rescued by firefighters when a falling tree trapped him in a porta potty. He was very lucky, said Assistant Chief Joe Robertson. It was a large tree, and it just missed striking him. Wow, that's kind of crazy. That ever happened to you, Tom?
A couple times. I'm tree prone.
Tell us about Bill Hicks.
Oh, Bill Hicks was a trip when I was
Thank you.
growing up.
All right. After St. Louis radio, DJ Mason, we'll get to Bill Hicks. Mason Schrader got a large tattoo of his station, 92.3 WIL, and was fired a week later.
Where'd he get the tattoo, though?
Doesn't say.
Oh, well, that's an important piece of
Schrader
information.
tweeted that the tattoo area is still healing.
Oh, my God.
Why do they have the street, the street signs out here, Tom and Brian, that says FM? Mm-hmm. What is FM?
That's
Farm
farm
to
market. Yeah.
Farm to Market Road.
I should get that
And what
tattooed
does that
on my
mean?
inner thigh.
What is that? Because FM to people like me means a radio FM frequency.
Yeah, it's just like an old name of a road.
It's a farm to market, where the farmers bring their stuff to market.
Yeah.
It's like from nowhere to the town.
Yeah.
It's kind of what it says.
So how is it used? Like, is it just one road, or does it mark?
Up here it says FM, and then it gives the road name, right? Or something.
Oh, I see.
It's got a lot of different names. That's why it's farm to market.
Yeah.
It's also called the something else like 180 or something.
Yeah, there's
If you
not
need-
AM,
if you need
FM
more
streets.
napkins. Well, thanks, Tom. Thanks for that input.
You're welcome.
We were wondering when you were going to start participating in that.
Well, that's decided.
And Coliseum's going to get a makeover in Rome, $22 million worth renovation, so that was nice. I'm not going to go into reading that. Mexico City had a big problem. One of the trains just collapsed, just didn't hit
that was
another train,
terrible,
just
yeah.
collapsed. At least 24 people were killed and 70 more injured this week when an elevated section of Mexico City subway collapsed, sending train cars and tons of concrete plummeting to the busy highway below. People were killed and
Wow, that's crazy.
70,
Yeah, that is crazy.
70 tacos were injured.
Look at that.
Oh my God, I never saw that. It's the first time I saw the live feed. Yeah, concrete's terrible. A plan to raise taxes in Colombia was scrapped this week after days of violent rallies in which protesters and police fought pitched battles. At least 18 demonstrators and 1 police officer were killed. So watch out for if you're going to Colombia. Once they get some problems. And Turkey entered its first national COVID lockdown last week as the country began registering more than 60,000 new infections a day. So this thing is not going away, evidently, Brian, Felicia, Tom.
What's the weirdest thing you did during? Because I think everyone did a creepy, weird thing. Like, what is the weirdest thing you did during the COVID?
I had my neighbor shoot a porn.
Really?
Yeah,
Where?
right in the trailer park.
Yeah.
Right,
Where in the trailer park?
right near the
Like-
community center.
And what was it? Just like the scene that gets to the fucking, or was it fucking?
No, it was an old resident and somebody's I think niece or nephew. The old and young is my favorite porn.
Oh, is
You know, old,
Right, right.
and young.
so when you're watching old and young porn, who are you rooting for?
Oh, I'll be like you. Well, they both need to get off. They both deserve to get off. Everybody's right. And here you are starting on your thing, and we're thinking you're going to take some kind of point of view, and you just kept giving
my
everybody
point
a
of view.
pass.
That's
Everybody get a pass. Even this is, So it's just great.
My point of view.
And
And by the way, Tony gets a pass too. Like, everyone is right in that. Everyone has a right to raise their hand.
I've been called names a long time, my whole life. It doesn't bother me. What do they say? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me, Tom?
That's
Have you
right.
heard
That's what
that?
they say. Yeah, they say it.
Shit. Call me
I'll
what
tell you, my favorite kind of porn
don't
or
call-
whatever is a guy slowly putting on his pants and saying, it's okay, it happens to everyone. Because it's so realistic.
And who do you root for in that situation, Tom?
Root for me. I root for me.
What's the weirdest thing you did during the pandemic, Brian?
Move.
No, but the creepiest thing.
Creepiest thing.
Yeah, you did. Did you have poor behavior in any of it?
No. No, I don't think I've really did anything creepy. It was pretty mellow. I pretty much did everything that I was already doing before. Like, I was still doing Kill Tony. I was still doing Dead Air. Like, I didn't really affect my schedule.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did you freak out at any part of it?
No, like
or-
first couple of weeks was kind of creepy, but
Yeah, yeah.
An effort in North Carolina General Assembly to raise the legal age to get married from 14 years old fizzled last week as politicians blocked a proposal to hike the age to 18. Under an amendment to Senate Bill 35, 14-year-olds can still marry, but only to someone no more than 4 years older than them. So that's nice. What do you think, Tom?
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Get him young, Tom. What do you mean? What do you mean? How do you feel about that? I want to marry an old lady.
I'm saying my husband could be in trouble.
My grandmother was 14 when she got married.
Yeah, so 14's okay, but you can only be 4 years older than 14.
Yeah.
I think you should only be as old as, Jesus' mom? I'm just saying if we're going by a book.
Well, how old was she? Jesus' mom.
old enough. Yeah.
I think she's about 14.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Where did you read that?
Is that a book somewhere?
Reader's Digest? Do they still make Reader's Digest?
They must, right?
But I tell you
It's a
right
great
now,
magazine. You just
she
get
was
a little bit of
underage.
nice stories in
She
there.
was underage for sure. I know this, that she didn't have a driver's license. I tell you that.
Reader's Digest is where I found out about the review mirror.
You didn't find it in the car when you drive?
How about they were finding review mirrors at the emergency rooms and embedded in people's forehead.
Oh.
I read that in Reader's Digest. So I put my belt on all the time.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want the rearview mirror sticking in my forehead. Yeah, Reader's Digest.
I don't want that either. No, not after the last time.
Washington, D.C. is having some problem with some kind of foreign things making people sick.
Yeah, I think they're like microwaves that happened in the
yeah.
embassy in Cuba, and they can shoot it through walls, and it really screws you up.
Yeah.
Wow, you are addicted to those.
Oh yeah, I can It's just like a pizza.
I noticed you keep on like opening one. I'm like, no, I better not. You put it down.
You ever snort sugar?
No, I haven't, Tom.
It's good.
I have eaten it, but I've never snorted it, Tom.
It goes right to your brain.
It's like saying, do you ever shit out of your mouth? No, shit out of my ass, but never
I
shit
do.
out of
It's
my
called
mouth.
my act.
Bill and Melinda Gates, who have been jointly running the world's largest private family foundation, dropped a bombshell this week by announcing that they plan to divorce after 27 years. Oh, that's all right. And Prince Charles and son Prince Harry badly communicated, and I can't blame him. What he did to that family on TV, I would be pretty upset with my son if he did that with some
Yeah.
bimbo.
Yeah. Once again. No, I'm kidding.
Bimbo wife that he married.
Who? Meghan Markle?
Bimbo.
Really?
Come on, to talk
Really?
about family like that in front of the
Really?
whole world,
Don't you talk
Bro-
about your family in your act?
not in a bad way.
What? Really?
I'll write some jokes for you if you want me to.
I'll throw my family
Oh no, I'm not
under-
a big fan of hers at all.
Oh, okay.
Here's
All
my
right.
thing. When Bill and Melinda announced they were getting divorced, am I the only person in the room that turned bisexual? I mean, I'm just saying. I mean,
Yeah, something's up with that.
yeah,
I think-
I'm just saying.
Don't you think
Hi,
there's
Half
gonna
the
be-
money in the world.
Yeah.
Do you think like weird stuff's gonna come out about Bill Gates?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
The Epstein stuff.
I think some.
Yeah, the
stuff's
shoe's gonna
come out.
drop. It's
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
like look at Bill Cosby always yelling at the black community for the way they conducted their family affairs, and then what does he do?
Right.
He's drugging and raping prostitutes and girlfriends
but you know what?
and neighbors.
Like, I remember back in the day and doing all those comedy shows, and like in 1989 or something, I remember a makeup artist telling me, "Don't go in the same room with Bill Cosby." No,
Really?
makeup artists know all
Oh,
the
yeah.
fucking skinny. Yeah. For
So what do you
sure.
think about Bill Cosby? We're curious to see what you think of that.
Soft lips.
What do I think? I think he's a naughty person.
What about if a house is on fire? Do you think you should put it out, or you think you just leave it up to nature?
What kind of house? Is it in shape? Is there windows in it? Do people live in there? Is there a live thing in the house? Like, there's many questions.
Right.
I can't really say anything about it because I've never done Quaaludes.
Yeah. And I
But-
burned up my own house once.
India now is India is now reporting close to 400,000 new coronavirus infections a day. Wow.
Yeah, it's terrible.
And the German city of Munich has canceled its annual Oktoberfest beer festival for the
Wow.
second year in a row because of the pandemic. But the United Arab Emirates says it will host a similar event in Dubai where locals, but not foreigners, are banned from drinking alcohol. So if
Yeah. How are they going to do that? I thought they're not allowed to drink alcohol.
it's
over
banned to people that live there, but tourists can.
there. Yeah.
Oktoberfest in Dubai will kick off on October 7th and run for 6 months.
Doesn't that sound terrible to do Oktoberfest in Dubai?
Doesn't it sound terrible to live somewhere where you're not allowed to drink, and then everyone that comes to your
Yeah,
country is allowed to
yeah.
drink? It's like, what the fuck? This is backwards.
Ridiculous. I love some edit.
No, we don't edit. Tom, we don't edit here.
You don't edit?
No, he's a
No.
professional. We don't edit anything.
don't
This is
edit.
dead air.
That
What-
moment
whatever-
where Brian yelled at me because I was all sides, that's
Oh, you were just.
and my
you were like a
prostitution
politician.
story. He's not. That's.
Oh,
gonna
I
stay
need to
in.
tuck this thing back in then. Is that camera facing this way?
A Texas woman was shocked to discover she faced federal felony charges for not returning a VHS tape of Sabrina the Teenage Witch more than 20 years ago. Karen McBride said she had no idea that she was wanted for embezzlement until she tried to update her name on her driver's license, and the clerk told her to call the district attorney's office, where McBride was informed of the charge. I thought I was going to have a heart attack, she said. She insists she's never seen the show and suspects that her ex-boyfriend rented it in her name for his twin daughters. Makes sense to me.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a point of view on this. That bitch needs to go to jail. That's my point of view. I don't give a shit if it was your ex-boyfriend.
Oh, but you're gonna give
Melissa Joan Hart needs to make money off of that. That's who played Sabrina the Teenage Witch, right? Brian, what year did you graduate high school?
93.
Oh, wow.
The year my girlfriend was born.
Ain't that great?
Oh my God. Is it weird to date someone like a lot younger? I mean, take all the physicalness or whatever out of it. Is it odd when you first date someone younger than you?
No. I mean, the weird thing is like the shit that she hasn't learned yet, where you're like, oh my God, you don't know about this yet? Or
Like
you haven't seen Back to the Future?
Oh, right. She hasn't seen Back to the Future.
I think the first year of our relationship was just going through every single movie going, wait, have you seen Indiana Jones? Oh, well, let's watch that. Like, it was like being able
Oh my God.
It's true. They can't see when they weren't born.
Right. And they have no idea what it is. Like, I have no idea what this Star Wars thing is. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Really?
So you get to show her all the best movies in the world, and it's like, wow, my boyfriend knows all the good flicks. And you're like, no, this is just, everyone knows these movies, right?
Right. Wow.
Like, I showed her this video of Brian Holtzman.
You look like De Niro in this, Brian.
Like Polly. He's ridiculous. I love it.
I don't know what's going on here.
Moving on.
Okay.
A man in a bath suit is walking from Los Angeles to San Francisco. Jesse Larazos, 33, began his unusual journey on April 12th and has barely stopped aside from sleeping near the side of the road while remaining in costume. It was an impulsive decision for sure, he said. Walking 380 miles in a suit, I didn't plan it out. The trek has morphed into a digital fundraiser that has generated more than 7,000 in donations. Meanwhile, look at the way that sticks like that. That is some shit right there.
Yeah, just wait till August.
Meanwhile, he enjoys seeing the world through the eyes of a bear mask. And it fuels my creativity, he said.
I have a strong opinion about that. I'm very offended that he's walking around in bareface. You know what I mean? That is not okay.
Yeah, how do the bears feel about that? That's what do you think, Tom?
I'm going to call the Bears.
Not those kind of bears. Yeah,
See, I'm not. I know bears. I mean, I'll call them. I mean, I've been in the woods.
This is getting out
That's
of
a bar in
control.
Houston.
This is really getting out of control. I don't know why this is a new thing that somebody started, and I really think it's getting out of control. A massive explosion staged for a gender reveal party left terrified New Hampshire residents wondering if they were experiencing an earthquake. The windows rattling boom caused by the explosion of 80 pounds of explosives. I mean, what is
I'm
it?
so sick of those gender reveal parties.
What is the story on that?
So he blew up some of his town. Like, seriously, if you have to make an
But you can tell. Look at him.
yeah, he's an idiot.
Yeah, you can tell.
If you have to make an explosion to reveal the gender of your
How do
progeny,
you sleep with somebody who's so stupid?
yeah, like,
Are you afraid you're going to wake up, they're going to be biting your dick off or
Right,
something?
yeah, it's like you just told me, that when you fertilized your wife, that you didn't make her see fireworks. Like, there can be no other explanation. Like,
Right.
why the fuck would you
Look
do
at
that?
him. And why do they have access to that?
How dumb is that?
It's terrible. I mean, the people thought that a car has hit the house. It's a very frightening experience. That'll make your heart jump and skip a beat, huh, Tom?
Yeah.
Yep. I saw a gender reveal one time, and it actually blew up the people that were doing it, so it was going to be a boy. Yeah. And the funny part was they were anti-abortion, which is kind of odd. And yet they did it.
That's weird, right?
Yeah,
I know.
This guy's got to be the guy's got to go to jail for a few years, or for a year at least.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. People.
He shouldn't be allowed to be taking care of his kid on his own without supervision, though. Jesus. It's
What was he
crazy.
thinking? 80
Yeah.
pounds?
He was thinking my progeny. That's what he was thinking.
This is a good one. I want everybody to hear this one. New South Wales has turned into a real horror movie, said so-and-so and so-and-so. A sudden boom in the field mouse population has sent millions of rodents.
You already read this one.
Just seeing if who's paying attention.
Okay, all right. I was only going to be polite.
I was going to say, is it the same million rodents?
Everyone got all uncomfortable.
Well, they breed like rats.
Oh, this is a good one today. The number of centenarians, people in their 100s, is soaring worldwide as lifespans continue to grow. In 1990, there were about 95,000 of these people running around. Probably not running, but by 2015, there were 450,000 people, 100 or more, according to the United Nations estimates. And by 2100, the UN projects there will be 25 million people over the age of 100.
Wow.
Or 100.
Wow. Wow, that's frightening.
Here's one from Texas. At least 1,400 people sought care and at emergency rooms for carbon monoxide poisoning during the Texas week-long power outage.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, that was the worst.
And 11
I
people
lived
died.
through it.
That was horrible.
Any damage to your house?
Yeah, to the ranch house. Yeah, the pipes broke.
How many houses do you have?
A couple. But
Good for you, buddy.
Yeah, but the thing was, like, when it froze, like
No, we
It
get
was
all
right in the
suspicious.
fucking room.
it was like 17 degrees forever, and it was like, and there was no like water, there was no heat.
You got your own generators on your homes?
No.
You should have them. They're only like $3,500 or something.
Are they? Is that how much they are? I was thinking of getting a propane or natural gas generator because I have a natural gas line, and
I would. If
But I thought the gas froze up or something.
no, the gas was on the whole time.
Oh, okay.
It was only the electricity for 4 days.
electricity
And
and water and heat. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I got down to I think 35, 45, something like that in my house.
and the stores, it was like apocalypse. You go to the store, there's like nothing.
Yeah.
It was like all
Yeah.
empty shelves.
That's horrible.
And there was one cool thing that we went to this one store, and then a guy went out. There was a manager guy, and he had a bullhorn, and he said, if you're homeless or whatever, you can come in and seek shelter here. And all these people came out of the woods, and they came into the thing, and he goes, I'll be fired tomorrow, but y'all have a place to stay tonight.
Wow.
And I was like,
Did he get fired?
I bet he did. Yeah, but he invited a bunch of homeless people to come sleep on the floor in the store. Yeah, because it was freezing cold. They'd die if they didn't.
That's
So
right.
I was like,
Exposure.
yeah, I was like, there's a kind of Christian.
About 40% of those treated were children. The state is one of 6 that do not have a law requiring carbon monoxide alarms in homes.
Really? There's no law here that you have to have a car. Really? Wow. Do you know that sex toys are there's no regulation on sex toys?
There shouldn't be.
No, I mean even the chemical compound that
Oh,
makes
I see
them
what you're
up.
saying.
Like they use the same
I
chemicals.
thought you meant length.
Yeah, can't be over 7 inches.
you don't deserve this.
Are you all right there, Vern?
That will edit out.
Okay.
That
thought this was
you crossed the
live.
line on that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Whenever you mention inches, it makes some people upset.
Fair enough. fair
About
enough.
some people who mean Brian.
This is a good one for all those people who are going to try to fake the system. The CDC wants the state governments to pull templates for vaccination cards from their websites after online right-wing forums began citing the samples in giving advice on how to create fake cards. The FBI has warned that creating or selling a bogus vaccination card is illegal.
Yeah, Rose.
Oh, it was? It was? That's...
Yeah, how are they gonna? They can't regulate that at all. Like everyone's,
This is a real. I don't know what to think about this. Teenage girls are almost twice as likely as teenage boys to suffer a concussion while playing soccer, reports so-and-so and so-and-so. Researchers looked at 3 years of data on 40,000 female high school soccer players. Don't ask me how they did this. And 44,000 of their male peers, all in Michigan. It showed that girls were 1.88 times more likely than boys to suffer a concussion on the field, yet less likely to be removed from the game after a head injury. Male players typically recovered 2 days faster, while most concussions in boys resulted from contact with another player. The most common cause in girls was heading the ball or crashing into a goalpost. Ba-doom! Mary was always very clumsy. Ba-boom! You're not woke, are you? You're looking at me like you're woke.
I'm
You're looking at me like I said something wrong, Tom.
I barely got up in time for this show.
I mean, should girls even be playing soccer? Come on.
Yeah, they should.
Yes.
When I used to work, they used to sell
If
the
I'm
little
playing,
kid.
they should be.
Depends how big the kitchen is, right, guys?
When I used to work in the kitchen, there'd always be an employee trying to sell the damn chocolates for the soccer team or the softball team. You know,
Right.
Just give the kid the money and throw these fucking chocolates away. You know.
Yeah.
They drive into work with an $80,000.
Give them the money and give me the chocolates.
Just ask the kid. You know how much is the box of chocolates worth? Wouldn't it be you're a parent? Hey, how much is it worth?
Oh, I would
Here's
never
$30. Get rid of the fucking chocolate. I'm not
Right.
taking them to work. Who doesn't take the chocolates to work?
I would never let my kids sell candy. That's so fucked up.
Oh,
Right?
so my
Yeah.
parents were bad, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to have younger. Now looking back, it seems, or being
Yeah.
a paper boy, like being like
Yeah.
14, 13 years old, just walking around at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
and by yourself. That seems like such a bad idea.
That was years ago. Nobody was worried about it.
Yeah, no
People
one gave a shit when you were a kid. When we were kids, no one
You
gave
came
a
home when
shit.
when you were hungry or maybe at dinner, but no one told you like you had to. Now they
Trackers on them.
Yeah, trackers, GPSs.
I remember being a kid. We lived in Colorado, and we lived in this town as far as Pflugerville is from the center of Austin, like 6th Street. That we lived that far away. There you go. And my mom would send me on a little bicycle to go buy groceries, like fucking 40 miles away, like on the freeway. On the fucking no one
You'd
gave
come
a
back
shit.
and all your clothes would be ripped and your bra would be hanging off and
Yeah.
you'd say, well, that's what we have to do.
No.
Maybe?
Yeah.
No, I was in the Air Force, so I could identify being on
Yeah.
the military installation. That was pretty fun. You guys got into a lot of trouble.
We got in so much
you were
trouble
bad.
as a kid.
The military brats were real bad kids.
Yeah. I remember we lived in Berlin, Germany, and it was when the when the wall was still up. And so you would be like 7 years old or something, and all the older kids would be like, the East Germans are coming over the wall in October, just to fuck with us. And then you'd be riding the bus like, oh my God. Like you'd like totally be shitting yourself. Oh fuck, the East Germans are coming. Stupid.
The ones with the bad art.
Yeah.
Here they come.
True that.
Brian ate 12.
You
Swiss
ate
rolls.
12 of those? How do you do that?
And what you
I
do
can
when you're
barely
done,
finish two.
you start eating a box.
Yeah, to cleanse your palate. Fuck, to absorb
There's a
all
little
the
bit of sugar still on there.
Wow, that's exactly how I suck a dick.
Oh,
You can't just eat one. It's
I
like a
gotta put
potato
this
chip.
away.
Who can eat one potato chip? So the study didn't establish why girls are more likely to be have those problems, but notes that female players have lower neck strength. I know what everybody's thinking about, huh? That's why you got to grab them by the ears, right, Tom? Is that okay? Are you woke?
Dick
Are you
joke's a dick joke. A dick joke's a dick joke, Brian. You don't have to be woke to get all angry about dick jokes.
But notes that female players have lower neck strength and girth, which could make it more
Girth.
make the problem worse. Linear and rotational head acceleration after a header. Whatever the explanation says, lead author so and so and so and so and so and so of the University of so and so. There might be value in sex specific approaches to concussion education and management in that age group. Oh, who gives a shit? I will say this. If I had a daughter and she wanted to do gymnastics, I would hit her over the head with a chair. Do you really want your daughter on the balance beam? You see how dangerous that is? You know, it just break your neck. You
what
know.
about if you have one of those girls that are just fucking flipping around all over the furniture, like some kids? You have to.
Yeah,
you know,
but have you ever seen the balance beam or the
yeah,
unparalleled?
I was a gymnast when I was.
That
I was
is
the
so
worst
dangerous.
Gymnast, though. Yeah,
so dangerous.
You ever? Yeah, have you ever fallen on the balance beam?
No,
Like
I've
right on your vagina?
Yeah.
twice. Is that the answer? Twice.
On my taint once. It's close. It's close. I'm telling you, it's
So,
real close.
how big is the ranch, Tom?
It's big.
Can I see it? Can I have a tour? Go on a tour one day?
Yeah, maybe someday. Yeah, maybe we'll go to
How
the
far are
ranch.
you from Oak Hill?
It's about 170 miles from
Oh,
here.
so this is going to be a weekend trip, huh?
Yeah, it's big.
We'll take a shower.
Yeah. Yeah, it's big.
I have a friend.
You can get lost on it.
My friend Scott Mixler's funny that way. He said, "Come on over, we'll take a shower."
And did you?
Oh, God. Oh, too much Swiss rolls.
Yeah, that's what it
You're
is.
right.
It's the cardboard.
Do you want some of this water? Do you want some water? Or you
I
have
have
it
my
right
own water, thank you.
there? Okay, I'm just trying to be generous.
I'm just trying to be woke.
I told you I'm not woke.
I was woke
When is
until I
my
discovered
when is
melatonin.
my episode gonna air?
I think it's this coming week.
You think it'll be Monday?
I think so.
I'll be on
Episode of
Kill
what?
Tony if anybody's interested
nice,
on
nice.
Monday. If it,
Yeah.
if it-
Nice.
it's in the rotation. So that was about girls soccer. Delta, the last airline keeping middle seats unfilled for social distancing purposes, ended this practice on May 1st. Air travel is on the rebound, with more than 1 million passengers screened daily by the TSA since March 11th. I had my TSA interview on Wednesday over the Zoom
You did? To
Yeah.
get like the, what is that called?
to
Fast pass?
to get a job.
Oh,
To get a job?
Yeah, I love applying for jobs.
yeah.
Are you,
You know, you just it's fun applying.
yeah, you don't ever want the job. You just want to
Well, you
apply.
make that decision when the time comes.
Right,
But I thought a part-time job at the airport.
right.
Austin?
At the Austin
I know
airport,
we're all like, what gate?
because at the Austin airport,
fucking
there's like
awesome.
live music and stuff.
Yeah.
like
they
it's
play
like a
music.
show.
Yeah, they play
Yeah.
music. There's a great barbecue there. The Salt Lick's there.
Yeah, the Salt Lick and all, and also too the Saxon Pub has a room there where you
Really?
like Willie Nelson will sit in and do a set and
Really?
yeah, and Carolyn Wonderland and like unbelievable artists will sit in sometimes and just
Unbelievable, huh? Just
like you can't.
Have you ever seen Carolyn Wonderland play here? She's married to A. Whitney Brown. He was on SNL.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's her husband. Yeah, they live here. In
Yeah,
town.
she sings like Janis Joplin, but
Yeah,
plays
she's very
like Stevie
talented.
Ray Vaughan.
Oh, wow.
she's
Yeah.
if you ever get a chance, go see her.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll blow your mind.
I just want to go to the airport and see Brian Holtzman as a TSA.
I know,
agent.
that
think
would
it
be
seems like the
awesome.
Do you know what metal is? Metal. Metal.
My thing is, I don't want to have to put my hands up like this and then watch him walk around the edge. Dude, I know you're looking. I know. And by the way, I'll show you a picture of my Corvette, and that'll just solve the problem for everyone. You know how small it. If you saw my Corvette, you would know how small it is. It's that good of a Corvette. It's
What year is it,
a
Tom?
72.
Oh, wow. That's the long nose. Is that right?
Yeah,
oh,
long
yes.
nose. You have got the chrome bumpers.
Fiberglass body?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
V8,
T-tops. Yeah.
327,
It's got a 350.
350. Wow.
It's all new from the bumper to bumper.
What color?
It's red. It's fantastic. It's so nice looking that you can tell how small my
Oh,
penis
yeah.
is.
Is it
That's
that
what it is.
right there?
That's it.
Wow.
That's
Do you
that's that's pretty. That's my car right there.
That's sexy as fuck.
That's it. Yeah. Mine's got 2,500 miles on it.
No
Holy
shit.
cow.
It's been redone. Yeah, 2,500 miles on it. New interior, new thing, new everything. It's like the glass in it's brand new. Engine, transmission, everything's brand new.
That's awesome.
Wow.
And it's loud. That's what I like about it because I can't come home after midnight because it'll wake up everybody in the neighborhood. I love it. Everybody's like, there goes that guy with that small dick right there. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. I'll wave. Fuck him.
Right.
That's right. Yeah, look. I'll wear shorts. You'll see a ball pop out. I don't give a fuck.
I miss those days when balls would pop out all over everyone's shorts.
I know.
Oh, the 80s.
See, because women like to see a ball every once in a while, don't you? Just every once in a while, just a
We
little.
don't like it, but we're like,
Well, you got to shave them, but
It's like a car accident. You got to look.
Right. Yeah. When you see a ball out in the wild, you gotta look. Did you guys photograph Joey Diaz's balls?
You did it?
I did that photograph.
Oh yes, I forgot to mention that. Felicia Michaels is also a very accomplished photographer.
oh yeah.
Sometimes, every once in a while. Yeah.
No, you've shot a lot of entertainers, right?
A lot of comedians. Yeah. I shot the big alternative movement in New York. I have photographs that were like from probably early 90s, around there, 94.
A convenience store chain, 7-Eleven.
We're moving along, bitch.
This is a good one. Wait till you hear this one, Brian, Tom, and Felicia. And
Bob.
And the convenience store chain 7-Eleven is locked in a war against a very stubborn Japanese franchisee, said so-and-so and so-and-so. It started when the Mitsubishi Mashitapo, there's some Japanese name, doesn't matter, who runs a 7-Eleven in Osaka suburb, criticized harsh labor conditions at the chain, which is famous for being 24 hours. Everybody knows that. That's why we love 7-Eleven.
Right.
And the chain, which with stores open around the clock. In 2019, he started to shut his store from 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. each day. In response, 7-Eleven hired private investigators to keep tabs on his store, even going so far as to film his movements. When this idiot that owned this franchise announced he would close the store for New Year's Day, 7-Eleven revoked his contract. But he won't give up the store, this idiot, despite the judges urging him to settle. It has sat empty for 16 months. 7-Eleven recently built a second shop in what used to be the parking lot that will be operated 24 hours a day by 7-Eleven itself. So
wow.
That's you got to do. You could buy a franchise, but you better do what the corporate office wants.
7-Eleven's got balls. They got mad. That's crazy.
We lost Michael Collins. He was an astronaut. I'll just read the last sentence. I do have a secret. His precious thing I will always carry with me. I have seen the ultimate black of infinity in a stillness undisturbed by any living thing, he wrote in 1974 memoir. I do have this secret, this precious thing that I will always carry with me.
What is it?
I guess it's the sheer nerve to get blasted out of fucking space on technology.
Cryptic,
and the last one is our little interesting segment that we try to figure out what these people are trying to say.
Okay.
Doubt is not a pleasant condition, but certainly is absurd.
Voltaire?
Yes. Those who lead the country into the abyss call ruling too difficult for ordinary men.
Trump?
Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Patience, a virtue for the dead. I get that one.
Okay.
A tradition is kept alive only by something being added to it.
My mom? She knows what to do stuff.
Many a calm river begins as a turbulent waterfall, yet none hurtles and foams all the way to the sea. Wow, that's a good one. And the last one, to refuse awards is another way of accepting them with more noise than is normal. I agree wholeheartedly with that.
I've got to do
Just
more of that.
take the award and be quiet. You make more noise about not taking the award for whatever harebrained, people say when somebody compliments you, even though it's uncomfortable. I think it's uncomfortable for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
You just take it. You don't bellyache about it, right, Tom?
Yeah, they're trying to give you a compliment. Yeah.
Tom Cruise is turning all his Emmys.
I saw that. What, Golden Globe
and
Awards?
Globes because they're not doing enough diversity.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just can't find the right people to fill these jobs. What are you going to do? You can't give it to somebody who's not qualified just because you have to fill a void. What do you think, Tom?
Well, that's the thing. I was going to tell him, everybody doesn't have to look like your family. Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
No, but here's the thing. Like, why do you give a fuck about the Golden Globe? Why don't you go visit your fucking daughter? How about that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get a lot of compliments on that card, Tom?
I get some compliments on it. Yeah.
I bet it's easy to pick up hitchhikers in a car like that, Tom.
It's actually not. It's easy to get raped in that car. No, because they look like this guy's pulling over. He's an idiot, and I am. But at the same time, that's not a reason, though.
Well, that was the questions. That was
stop
the
it, Lord.
dead air. Now we're going to ask.
I
Now
know
we're going to ask.
Now I'm
you
going to be
some-
canceled. Is this going to be on TMZ?
We're going to ask some questions out of you two.
All right.
Oh, new questions.
These are 10 new questions. These were developed by an Asian, a very close Asian to the show, Janice. Can I say that? Mm-hmm. Janice developed these questions.
Okay.
And the first one is. No, I'll translate it. You're not laughing hard enough. You're not laughing hard enough.
Okay.
I know what you're thinking. Oh, that Holtzman, he is such a fucking asshole.
No, I don't think you're an
No,
asshole.
no, but
Right.
you know you
No,
can.
yeah,
It's
no, I
okay.
don't think you're an asshole.
They stopped me from taping just last night for Felicia just because of that. No, it's all good. It's all good.
Felicia, ladies
Yes.
first. You'll have the first question by Janice. Number one, what is the first memory you have?
The first memory I have is being in a snowsuit as a baby and not being able to kick my feet out of it. It was one of those that was zipped around the feet, and still to this day I can't sleep with my feet under the blankets.
Wow.
That's my
Wow,
first memory.
wow. And the responses to these questions don't have to be terribly long.
Okay, my
Tom?
apologies.
No,
Okay, fuck, dude, you are all over me.
no. Tom,
I was warming up.
Tom, what was your first memory that you've had?
My first memory was seeing a television, the light of it blinking on the ceiling when I was a little kid. I remember I was like in my mom's lap or something, but I remember the TV like blinking on the ceiling.
All right. What's your first memory, Brian?
Probably in the crib, I guess. I was afraid of fur.
Oh, yeah?
So I had older siblings who used to put furry clothing just to make me have problems.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, my God.
And I
That
remember
explains so
and I
much.
remember being in the high chair. I think we all can remember being in the high chair, making a mess of the putting the bowl on our heads.
Right.
I remember that.
Okay, cool. How about you, Brian?
I remember I was at a farm with my great-great-grandmother and my mom, and I just was walking around, and I was too close to a chicken nest or something like that, and all these chickens attacked me, maybe 10 chickens. And I got I have a little scar on my face from it and stuff. And I just remember my grandmother going, somebody help this boy. and they attacked me for 10 minutes. My mom was nowhere to be found, and my grandmother was too slow to rescue me.
Do you have any residual fear because of it?
I'm not around chickens a lot, but I wonder if I was around some chickens.
I think he answered the question, Felicia.
I think you need to go to a chicken farm, and we need to explore
I kind of
this.
want chickens.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That'd be cool.
Start with a little
Chicken.
baby one and then raise it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number two, and I guess we may need a timer for this one for Felicia. What makes you angry? Your pet peeves.
What are my
Why don't you
pet
just give
peeves?
us three? I guess.
My pet peeves
I got eight.
I don't like bullies. That's just it. I don't like a bully. That's my pet peeve right there.
How
And
about
okra? I don't like okra. Fuck okra.
Oprah Winfrey?
No, okra.
Oh.
Okra.
What about you, Tom? What are your pet peeves? What makes you angry?
When my Corvette won't start, it makes me pissed off. It happened last week. I'm really mad about it.
What's your pet peeve?
Yeah.
Other than a long ass story with a wonderful ending.
Oh, I have many too. Let me just. One of them is when people buy very expensive jeans.
Oh, really?
And they take all the tags off them, but they leave those four little fucking threads in the back right here.
Yeah.
You've seen them.
Yeah,
You've got to
I know
de-thread
exactly what-
completely. You've spent $80 or $180 on a pair of jeans, and you didn't de-tag it properly. You know what else bothers me? Packaging. Have you noticed how difficult it is to get a product out of a package today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all shrink wrapped and plasticized. And do you ever come home with a bottle of applesauce or something and not be able to get the top off?
Yeah. I hate
See, all
that.
the people that did all the great things in this country are all dead or retired. Now, all the people that are doing everything, those machines are all calculated to make it just so tight, or just how much glue to put on a package. It's. But if you don't know what you're doing, you can't open anything. You can't get anything off. These are all machines. These are machines, and they're not being properly calibrated. It's my opinion.
Yeah.
Packaging, number one, packaging. You know what I'll do at the store? I'll unpackage shit right there.
Oh, right.
And leave the empty box, the box that comes with the toothpaste. I leave it right on the counter. So you keep this shit. I'm not bringing it home. And I'll ask the lady, you open it. See if you can open it.
Yeah.
And then you open it before I leave.
My thing is, I have poultry shears. I don't know if you've seen those for cutting chicken.
No. Why
Yeah,
would I? I'm not a farmer. I grew up in a house on Long Island in a subdivision.
But they're giant
I live in
scissors.
L.A. Why would I see a poultry chicken cutter?
But if you pull them
Have you seen
out, poultry?
I think it's just like scissors.
It's like giant scissors. Yeah, super
Why don't you
sharp.
call it that, Tom? Why don't you just call it a fucking scissor? Why do you want to fuck with us, Tom?
Because giant scissors won't open the package. I'm trying to help you. See, the thing is, I just pull those out, and I'm like, screw it. I just cut it right in half. with
Tin
poultry
snips? You're
scissors.
talking about tin snips?
They're in between tin snips and regular scissors.
I actually
You
had.
can tell because you bother my hair. See, it's in between.
Wow.
You know, like arts and crafts scissors. I don't know if Janice has any of those, but they have these arts and crafts scissors. That
Why don't you
have,
say
like,
scissors?
Because they're arts and crafts scissors that are like doily, like a doily pattern. And once I was trimming up my vagina, and I cut myself with an arts and crafts scissor. And then I couldn't explain why I had a doily pattern that was a little wound on my vagina.
That was her excuse.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's a new thing, too.
I'm going to get some of those.
Felicia, what was the last motion picture you saw?
In the theater?
It doesn't say what the location. It could be at home. It could be in a theater. It could be a friend's house. It could be on
Right.
DVD. It could
I
be.
saw Nomadland. I would say it was probably Nomadland.
How about you, Tom?
Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf?
Really?
Oh,
yeah.
Dynamite. Dynamite. God,
Watched that the other day, yeah.
that is some. Man,
It's
they go
phenomenal.
at phenomenal. They
Yeah.
go at each other. You can't find that. Oh, man, is that
Yeah, I was trying to listen to perfect albums and watch perfect movies. It's like, that's a perfect movie.
I didn't like the husband of the young husband. I didn't like
Yeah.
him. I wanted to slap him. What do you think about this, Brian, Felicia, and Tom? Do you think they should colorize that?
No, I don't think so.
You know what?
Why can't they colorize it and then keep the other one?
Yeah,
You could have a
keep both.
choice which
Oh,
one
that's
you
a
wanted
good
to
idea.
watch.
Yeah.
Because color it brings
Yeah.
it just so up to date, kind of.
You know what
Yeah.
irritates me is when you watch old movies, even black and whites, on a brand new TV. It looks weird. What is that when you?
It's a soap opera effect. It's actually a setting in your TV you can turn off. It's called clear motion, something like that. But if you say like have a Samsung TV, just Google soap opera effect, turn off Samsung.
That freaks me out when
Yeah.
you see stuff like that.
It's
you know?
weird. It just makes
Yeah, it's
it makes it
weird.
look like everything like a
I
soap
didn't know
opera.
you could turn it off. I didn't know you could turn it
Yeah, but and the worst part is TVs come with that turned on because they think that's what we want to see is like that creepy. weird
Right.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got this thing where I have an audio system for recording music and stuff that's got a time delay on it. So I put the microphone to the speaker and everything, and then it makes a time delay on everything, and then I pretend it's a foreign movie because it looks like they dubbed it.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so you feel fancy. Feels like you're in France.
What's the last movie you saw, Brian? I'm trying to change the subject here.
I want to see this. I want to see this new movie with my favorite transporter actor. It's supposed to have already been out May 7th. The guy who plays Transporter, the movie's The Transporter. I just can't bring up his name every time. It's good. I want to see that one. I can't remember the last movie I
Oh,
saw.
Train Spotting? Was
no,
it Ewan McGregor?
the Transporter.
Huh.
That little action hero.
Jason, whatever.
Yeah. That's
Jason
it. That's it.
Statham? Is that
Yeah. He's got a new movie out. I
Oh,
want to see
okay.
it.
Okay.
I like him. He's
Yeah.
he's believable. So
I gotta work on that.
I know.
What is your go-to karaoke song if you have one?
Oh, let's see. It would be.
These are great questions, by the way, Brian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are good ones.
Janice, thank you.
Because I've done a lot of karaoke. Just let
Thank
you know.
you. What's your?
Time's up. God, I don't do karaoke because I can't sing, so I'm not good at that answer. Yeah, I'm not good at singing, so I would.
Mine would be Snow Patrol if I just laid here.
You know, it's not that I'm rushing you. It's just that you've seen it. You've seen people speak publicly and on the news, and you've seen. I don't know how much experience you have working day jobs, but I have quite an extensive period. And there's nothing more annoying than a boss or a supervisor who just doesn't get to the point. And they talk, and you just want to strangle them. And that's not why I'm rushing you. It's just like you have to edit people. You have to fucking edit people to move the conversation along, or they go off. Not saying you two. I'm just saying. So don't. It's not calling Russian.
That guy.
It's just getting to the point. You know, Tom was asked a simple question, and he wanted 3 or 4 sentences before he got to the answer. And we're not going to do that, Tom.
Okay.
We're not going to go there.
I was trying to feel like 2 hours.
There you go, Tom.
Do it. Sing it.
Oh, no.
Go ahead, Tom. This I'll let you go. Let's go. You want to do it?
Do it.
We do it all on our own.
That's fair
that's
enough.
nice,
I'm
man.
gonna give him
All
that.
right. Okay. Do you have a favorite karaoke song?
I don't
The
sing
balls
karaoke.
come back out. There we
Maybe
go.
like
There. They
a
suck
White
right up.
Stripes song, something like that.
Yeah,
You know, like-
Tony likes to do that. I think sometimes he wanted to know if I wanted to go once, but I don't do that.
Yeah, I'm not a big singer.
This is kind of a question. It's kind of it's number 5. Make it as quick as you can, I guess, Tom. What is your morning routine? I go out to my Corvette.
No, that's the afternoon. Then I get up, I pee, I drink a glass of water first thing, and then I make coffee.
How about
That's
you,
my role.
Felicia?
Same thing. I feed my dogs, and then I make coffee.
Who's taking care of the dogs while you're away?
I have a person called a dog walker, and my son is at home, so they're taking care.
How many do you have?
I have 2 dogs.
I think they're unique too. Are they?
They're little French bulldogs.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I saw them on social
Oh,
media.
they're so cute. You know, I think they call them Frenchies, not because they're from France, because you wake up every morning Frenching them. Like, they're so cute.
Yeah, that's one of the amazing beauties of life. The affection that dogs have, and the cats even. Where I'm living now, there's a Chihuahua and a cat, but the cat is like a real cool cat. It doesn't act like aloof like some cats, and it's just amazing. Number 6 for Tom.
Okay.
What is a food you can't live without?
Fried shrimp.
Really?
I love fried shrimp, and I make killer po' boys and all that. Yeah, I love fried shrimp.
There was a guy in Manhattan Beach building this big house. I mean, huge. He bought the whole lot from this front of the street all the way to the alley. And it was just a perfect postcard. You see the Palos Verdes. It was just unbelievable money. And I found out through the contractors or somebody that he was in the shrimp business. And I go, God, how can you build this house selling shrimp? And then I realized what is on every menu in every fucking restaurant.
Yeah.
Anywhere you go. What do people love more than anything? And then you can realize you can amass quite a fortune
Yeah.
if you're in the shrimp business.
Yeah.
Shrimp kind of grosses me out.
Well, it's a bottom feeder.
Yeah, it's like roaches. To me, it's like the meat of the roach.
I love them, but I don't like them when they leave the heads on. You
yeah,
can
I don't
actually
like
see them.
that. Yeah, I don't like that.
You know, like
Yeah.
this, pull
Really?
the heads off and suck the brains out.
Well, here's the thing. Y'all like steak? Have you ever seen a cow's head cut off? See, you're gonna ruin it for me. I'll ruin it for you.
But since Tom grew up on a ranch, tell him a story about how you had that pet cow.
My pet cow.
Yeah, and your dad at the dinner table.
Oh yeah, when I was a kid, because we had to raise cows and stuff, then we had a cow that the mom died and all that, so we fed it and all that and took care of it and all that. And then one day I was wondering what happened to it, and my dad's like, "You're eating it." Yeah. Yeah. And now people get mad when I eat a dog or something. I'm like, it's all the same to me now. Pet's a pet. Pet's food, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what? You knew him, and now you know him even better.
That's right. Yeah. I loved
Fair
him,
enough.
and then I pooped him.
Did we get to what is your food that you can't live without?
Probably cookies. Cookies. I can't live without cookies.
I love cookies. I love
Cookies too.
Yeah. What about you, Brian Redban?
Steak.
beef.
Beef. Okay.
Sorry about the head reference.
Number 7. What quality or feature are you most attracted to, Tom, in the
Opposite sex.
in the genders you're attracted to?
I know the answer to that.
What's that?
Mustache.
No, I used to really like mustaches, but not anymore though. I think it's eyes.
Oh, really?
I think it's because of James though. Yeah, I like nice eyes. Yeah,
I used
and
to
you
have
got
a-
nice eyes too. I'm not hitting on you, but
No, I know. Thank
but
you.
if I was,
Hit
you'd
on
know
her.
it.
Hit on her.
You'd
It's
know
okay.
it.
What are you attracted to?
I had a friend in Okinawa. I used to always give him a hard time. We used to have the refrigerator with the little tin can. If you wanted a soda, you have to put the change in the tin can with the change. And I used to just open it up and shake the can. Anyway,
Okay.
speaking of eyes, he used to do this. Next time you're at home and somebody wants to ask you a question or something, just do what this guy used to do. His name is Eric Vonksness. He lives up in Eugene, Oregon, I think.
That got you to say attic.
He used to go like this. You see any concern with this eye? You see any, and he'd pull his fucking eye all the way down and he'd say, "You see any concern in this eye? You see any concern in this eye?" Oh, that's one of those things you always remember. And the other one was I was sitting in the TV room in the Air Force Okinawa, and I heard this, like, when somebody opens up a beer, So I'm watching the news, and it just kept going, and it just kept going. Turns out there was a guy sitting in a chair, barfing into his fist, and it just kept going. Oh, you had to be there. It's funny when you think it's
Right.
something and it turns out it's not that.
Story of my life.
So what?
We're not going to ask me what I'm attracted to.
Yes, I thought. Yes, go ahead. Yes,
Is it
yes.
Corvettes?
No. And what I'm attracted to in a man is how he carries himself. That's what I'm.
I'm a hunchback.
Not so much that, but how a man carries himself, like how he
Right.
walks into a room, and there's just something about that.
Wonderful.
That's all I'm saying.
Number 8. These are great questions.
Yeah, good
Number
questions.
8. Order of importance: face, boobs, butt, or personality. Order of importance. Is it the
I would
face?
say personality, face, then boobs. Although James got good boobs though. He got some good ones, but I'd say that order kind of. I'm a
Yeah.
personality person. Like I like
it's all about
people.
that.
People.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Felicia?
For sure, personality, face, ass. I'll
Butt,
go there.
and then.
What about you, Brian's? What about the Brian's?
Just ass.
I don't know why I thought it'd be any different than that.
I like ankles,
You like ankles?
ears, teeth.
He's a foot guy.
Wow.
Feet are sexy, bare feet,
Yeah.
and
You know what Joey Diaz hates? Dirty feet.
Oh, I got to remember
On
to
a
keep
wo-
dirty feet around
On
him.
a
Then
woman, like when the back of her feet are dirty, he does not like that.
yeah. When
Told me that a million times.
yeah, have you worked with Joe recently?
I haven't worked with him recently, no.
No, I thought you had.
Speaking of feet,
Yeah?
Brian, look at this. What are you doing to this guy's feet right down here?
That's a stunt.
Oh, I cannot see that. I cannot See that?
That's a stunt double. That's a stunt double.
Then why?
Is that what you
Why
told
does it look
everyone?
at you? Like, why does it look like you? Can you rewind that? I gotta see that again. Can we see
Why is
that
Polly
again?
freaking out? Why is Polly
Tom,
freaking out?
Tom, what's the worst job you ever had, Tom?
It's
the
not
worst
licking
job?
feet.
The worst job I ever had was delivering newspapers.
Really?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I hated that. I hated
How many
delivering.
clients did you have?
Like 300.
Well, that's
I had
a
to
big,
get up
that's a
like
big route.
I had
That's a
to-
big route.
Yeah, I had to get up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and start. I had to go downtown and go. Not
And did
downtown,
you have to
it was
knock
just
on
downtown
knock
Pasadena.
on the door once a week to make a
No,
collect?
just throw the things. Whatever.
No,
but it was
oh.
all apartment complexes in Pasadena, so it's like
We had
yeah,
to
so
knock
it's-
on the door and
Yeah,
collect.
we had to collect.
Oh yeah. At the end of the month, I had to go do that. Yeah, and that
Knock
was a
on the
pain.
door and say, hey, you know.
And then you couldn't get them to pay, and you couldn't get them to show up, and you leave a note, and then they'd say, we'll be here this time, and you show up, and they're not there, and it was like pain in the butt. I hated that job.
What's the worst job you ever had, Felicia?
Well, after I was a stripper and before I moved to LA, and I was doing comedy, and I was trying to get out of stripping, so I worked at a place. I'm getting to the answer, by the way. Even though you take fucking 20 minutes for your own questions, I had a job where we would go in as a team, and you would clean up after big fires. So, like, if you had a big fire,
A
in your
restoration
kitchen-
company,
yeah, and it was involved chemicals, but you would have to clean like insurance.
Suicides.
I remember cleaning someone's cock ring. Like you had to clean everything in their house with these chemicals, and it was a cock ring. And I was
That's
like
why
18.
I keep mine clean.
Yeah,
Just in case there's a
Yeah,
fire.
Don't leave that near a grease fire.
Well, how did that make you feel when you handled that cock ring?
It made me feel.
You know, what went through your mind?
Did
know?
you smell
no,
it?
No, you were just no. I didn't smell it. No, because yeah.
Everything smelled like fire.
No, you couldn't smell anything because the chemicals literally would burn the noses in your hair. I mean, hair nose. You know, it was like just a horrific job.
Who do you like, your mom or your dad? Which one do you like better?
That's a tough one. That's hard to answer. But my dad,
How about you, Tom?
even though he was shittier.
That's hard to answer too, but I think my mom, but my dad was great too. That's like, I liked him in different ways and for different reasons and stuff. But
What
yeah,
about
but my
you?
mom was incredible.
What about you?
I have to lean towards my mom, I guess. Yeah.
What about you, Brian?
Nah, no.
Okay. He's gonna get emotional over there. Let's move along.
This is real. This is real exciting. I didn't think I failed to mention this earlier. New South Wales has turned into a real life horror movie. And let's do some questions here that I think are pretty fun too. What is your best comedy experience?
My best comedy experience was 2 years ago.
Or worst? You know, worst.
I was opening up for Joey Diaz in Colorado, in Denver, and I was playing at the same theater because when I first started doing comedy, I had a boyfriend who was a comedian, and he opened up for James Brown, and I had just started comedy, and as he opened up for James Brown, he stole my joke. And then he came into the dressing room, and I very quietly said, "Hey, you stole my joke."
Word for word?
And he slapped, he said it word for word, and he slapped me in the face.
Slapped you in the face?
And then, but the best gig
Don't
was,
mention his name.
Jeff Valdez. But the best gig was
Cancel
Joey
that.
Diaz taking me to that same theater 25 years later, and I opened for Joey Diaz, and it was fucking awesome
I
because
can't-
I was in that same dressing room where that guy slapped my face.
Wow.
That was my favorite
Man,
gig.
that was a real comeback to a. We'll talk about that off air because I know that gentleman, and that's something I didn't know about that
I don't
gentleman.
stab
That's-
people's tires, but if I did and you knew what car he drove, I'm just saying. I know.
But you know what's-
but
Have
if
you ever
did.
run into him after that?
Well, I was
incident?
just going to tell you then, like, when Joey
You know
and
who
I,
that guy is, right, Brian?
Is this the guy right here?
That's him.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
I don't know that guy.
That guy's a piece of shit. I don't even mind saying it because he tortured me as an 18 and 19-year-old emotionally. He's like not a good guy. And then cut to, I was doing the podcast with Joey Diaz. We go to the Ice House, and Joey Diaz fucking hates that guy.
I know.
Joey
And now
Diaz-
I know why.
No, that was because of Marilyn.
Yes, I
yeah,
know, but
yeah.
certainly if he knows, if he
So
knew this.
Joey Diaz and him, as soon as they see each other, Joey like spits in his face, and that guy, by the way, spit in my face as an 18-year-old and would call me whore. He would throw money on the floor and go, "You fucking whore, pick that up." You betcha. I don't even care if that goes fucking viral. Fuck that guy. Yeah. And then Joey.
You're finally taking a stance on something. I'm glad.
Yeah. So then him and Joey get in a fight at the ice house, right? But we had smoked a big bone on the way to the ice house in my car. And so there was weed in my car, and we parked right, when you park in the ice house, not across the street, but in the private little parking lot, right? Because I was with Joey. And then a tussle happens, right, between him and Joey, and I was all like, I'm just going to drink my cocktail over here, right? Even though it was kind of glorious. And then Joey split because that guy Jeff called the cops, and I was walking back into the club after Joey had split, and then that guy was standing with the cops, and he's like, "You saw everything, Felicia. Tell these cops what Joey did." And I was all like, I don't know this motherfucker at all. You know what I mean? Yeah, throw him under the bus because fuck that guy.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy. I never say bad things about many people, but fuck that guy.
What was your favorite comedy experience, Tom? Or
I think my favorite was at Montreal, because I did a short film, A Fistful of Pills, or whatever. So I snuck into the theater when it was playing or whatever, and I sat in the middle of the theater or whatever, and then all of a sudden it was just killing and the uproar, and I was just watching my film and just listening to the audience just die laughing, and then I won.
All right, I want
What's yours?
It was
What's
a
yours?
moment.
I want to talk about Bill Hicks a little bit, so I want to just run through these questions real
Okay.
quick. Just one sentence or 2 words.
You don't have to go through all of those questions.
No, but I'm just curious. What's your favorite movie star?
Keanu Reeves and Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah, he's into motorcycles. Tom, you have a favorite movie star?
Yeah, I like.
One name.
See how she throws me off like that? Just like that. and
Just say
everything.
a name.
I like Harvey Keitel.
Oh yeah, me too. So
Yeah.
Did you see The Bad Lieutenant?
Yeah, yeah,
Stellar police work.
yeah.
If you were a famous rock star, who would you want to be? Freddie Mercury, Liberace, Elton John, George Michael, Boy George, or Marvin Gaye?
Marvin Gaye.
How about you?
The one that's alive. Is there one that's alive?
Good answer.
Do you like olives?
I fucking hate olives. Fuck olives.
Do you like olives,
I
Tom?
do like olives. But not too much, though. I like a little bit on salad, a little bit on a pizza.
One
occasionally.
word answers, Tom.
Do you believe in God?
Yes.
No.
You believe in God, Tom?
I believe there's something.
Has,
He's the reason I don't believe in God.
Well,
has
but you believe in something?
Has law enforcement ever been dispatched to your private residence?
Yes.
How about you, Tom?
No.
Called
Called them, they didn't even show up.
Have you ever had sex in an automobile?
Yes. Yeah.
Tom?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And what was your famous? I think we did this one. Janice memory growing up. That's a repeat. And the last one is: have you ever considered hurting yourself, Tom?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well,
Are you talking about suicide? Suicide? Because that, too.
I don't know. Hurting
but also
yourself is hurting
hurting
yourself. It's kind of self-explanatory. Tell us about.
But hurting yourself doesn't necessarily mean death, though. Sometimes, like people cut themselves and it hurts, but it's
Right.
not necessarily. But
Tell
yeah,
us,
I've considered.
tell us
yeah.
something
Tom,
about Bill Hicks
yeah.
that having met him in person, that other people would not know about him, only having heard the legend or seen him on like YouTube or something like that. What is the one like? What he smelled like? What he was like? Any? No, like you see someone and you take something completely away from them that you would have never known. Like what is the one
there
thing?
was a thing about Hicks though that Hicks he wouldn't come out in the room very often or whatever. But when he's on stage and stuff. But he would. But if
Before you start, explain briefly to the audience who may not be familiar with Bill Hicks, who he was.
Bill Hicks
what he
was a great comic out of the Comedy Workshop in Austin. He actually became a huge star in Europe, more than America actually. And but we were friends and everything. But he was like the end all be all kind of at the Comedy Workshop for a while. Like Kinnison and everybody worshipped him. You know what I mean? Like everybody loved Hicks. And that sometimes we were on stage or whatever. If you'd try to rock the house because it was a really small, like half the size of the Velveeta room, like tiny room. And if you could ring and rock it, he would stick his head around the corner, and every once in a while he'd do his laugh. He'd go like ha ha.
He did a weird laugh.
Yeah, he did like that or whatever. And if you did that, it's like, because everybody was like, after a while, like we quit playing to the audience. We were trying to get Bill to come out of the green room and laugh at a joke. Yeah.
So how close were you? You were roommates at one time, were you?
Oh, no. We were
But
just
he
friends.
did pick mushrooms on your ranch, didn't he? I thought you guys did mushrooms
There
on
might
your
have been
ranch.
something like that, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
And we lost him.
Yeah, you told me that story so many times.
And we
don't
lost him. How old was he when we lost him?
Yeah, how old was he when he
Was
died?
it?
Well, I mean,
young.
how old was he when he turned into Alex Jones? A lot of people think he's Alex Jones.
But
I think he was
like-
32, I think, when he passed
He
away.
was very young.
Yeah.
And if you're not familiar with Bill Hicks, you can Google David Letterman program. He was on David Letterman, and they did not air his segment, but David Letterman felt terrible about that years afterwards, and did finally release and show his segment on the David Letterman show. So that's an easy way to find Bill Hicks as well.
And just to let you know, his mom
Yeah,
was on
there
there.
you go. Yeah, he
Yeah.
apologized to his mom.
Here he is now doing stand-up comedy on this stage in a segment that I had taken out of our program October 1st, 1993. Here's the very funny Bill Hicks.
Oh, poor mom.
Because they had asked him not to do material, which he did, but no one knew that he was dying. That's the backstory.
Oh.
Very excited to be here tonight, and I got some great news today. I finally got my own TV show coming out as a replacement show this fall. Yeah. Thank you. It's not a talk show. Don't worry. It's a half-hour weekly show that I will host entitled Let's Hunt and Kill Billy Ray Cyrus. Explanatory. Each week we let the hounds of hell loose. We chase that jarhead, no talent, cracker idiot all over the globe. I finally catch that fruity little ponytail of his, pull him to his knees. Then we'll be back in '94 with Let's Hunt and Kill Michael Bolton.
He wasn't wrong.
So good. It's very funny.
So you got to work with him.
Oh, yeah, for years and years and years, yeah. We were kids together, like
And where was he originally from?
Houston.
Houston.
Yeah, from
Texas.
Houston. Like, he used to ride his bicycle to the comedy workshop.
and we just-
like, before he had a car, he'd ride his bicycle.
And we lost Carl LeBeau, who
Carl
you also
LeBeau,
know
yeah.
from Texas.
Yeah.
And I think Ralphie May was from Texas. Was
Yeah.
he? Was he?
I think so.
And,
After the fact, though, that was after.
And Sam Kinison, of course, from Texas. And
Jim Patterson was a great comic. A lot of people forget about him, but he was unbelievably funny. Jim Patterson, I don't know if you ever saw him. He was so funny. He had these really weird routines that he would do. Where he did things like he got his first job on the air in KLOL, which is like the number one news station in Houston, and he's like that. And he got to do the news reports, and finally he goes, I finally got to get on the news because I had to find an accident or something. He goes, well, it appears today that the guy that I hit is blocking the left lane, and the son of a bitch that hit me is blocking the feeder. This is Jim Patterson, 101 KLOL.
All right. Well,
That was his first time on air.
Did you guys enjoy Dead Air? Did you have a good time
I
today?
did. I did
I'm
have
really
a good
happy we
time.
finally got you. I think
Yeah,
I wanted you
I'm
in
so
Burbank as well.
excited. Yeah,
Didn't I ask you
thank
to be on?
You did. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been. I had such a great time. It was such a great time doing the show last night. Had a great time doing this podcast, and I fucking love you, Brian.
And we were only kidding with you. The
of course,
the
yeah.
conclusions that you drew, and your opinions, as whitewashed as they were, and meaningless.
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
still respect them.
Fair.
Tom, do you want to promote anything or
I want to tell everybody.
plug anything?
Not my stand-up or anything, but the Saxon Pub is about to be open again, and Esther's Follies, and also 1 to 1 is a great nightclub on Lamar, where you can see some unbelievable music, and that's all about to be open again. And Saxon Pub is a very small venue, and like the greatest artists in this town play that room. It's almost impossible
is that
to get in
downtown Austin?
there. It's on Lamar, just south of the river, about a half a mile. Saxon Pub, but it's like one of the hardest clubs to get into, and I mean, for artists and everything, and they're unbelievably talented there.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's a great show. Always.
What is it called again?
The Saxon Pub.
Downtown Austin, Texas.
Yeah, it's just south of the river on Lamar.
Lamar is the major thoroughfare.
Yeah, it's a major thoroughfare.
Lamar
from
and Congress, is that right?
Yeah, Congress is another one. They run parallel.
Right.
Yeah. So.
And Lamar is like a Hawthorne Boulevard or a Hempstead Turnpike on Long Island, or
Yeah.
it's a major
It's like Westheimer.
a major road in every
It's like our
every
Sunset,
community.
but not that good.
Right.
Every community has a major thoroughfare where all the action. Thanks for jotting that down. Well, thank you, Tom, for being here today on
Thank
Dead
you.
Air.
I appreciate it,
I'm
Brian.
glad.
It's very nice to meet you. It was nice to meet you last night and everything. Yeah.
Thank you.
I've known about you for a long time. I used to see you passing by in the hallway sometimes
Of
at
the comedy store.
store.
Yeah.
Back then, I used to sneak around and do all
I used to
that
be
myself.
afraid of you, Brian, because you were such a presence. I was so shy to talk to you.
What do you have? Anything you want to plug?
He's like, I'm so sick of your shit. Just say your shit and let's fucking wrap this
do you
up.
have anything that
Can you believe we were scared of him and Argus Hamilton? Can you believe it?
Argus
I
Hamilton.
know. Looking back at it.
If you have Amazon Prime, go see a documentary that I made called Pervs. It has Joey Diaz in it, Laurie Kilmartin, Felipe Esparza, and about 100 other comedians. Mr. Brian Redban was in that, and it won first place in a film festival and a bunch of stuff. But it's free on Prime. It's a lot of fun.
And tell us again slowly the title.
Pervs.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
And where can they find it?
Amazon Prime.
And Laurie Clemartin, I think I started with her in San Francisco in '88.
Oh, you did? Wow.
Now she's a big-time writer, I think.
Yeah, Laurie's one of the most underrated comedians by far, I think.
Is she married now? She have family?
No, she has a little boy. She has a teenage son.
Single mom?
Single mom.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah.
But, tell her I said hello if you ever talk to her
I
again.
will.
So that's
If she
it.
sees this podcast, she might not talk to me again.
Do you want to plug any of your social media contacts?
Yeah, just
or-
follow me all across the board at Felicia Michaels. I'm on all of it at Felicia Michaels.
Great.
Thank you for
Thanks.
having me
Well,
on here.
I've been a big fan of yours for many years and of your experience
at
and,
ya.
and everything. It's just great to
Yeah.
finally got a hold of you. And Brian, do you have anything you want to plug?
Every Thursday at Vulcan, we have the Secret Show.
That was so much
and
fun.
It was last night. It was a lot of fun. We always have huge surprises. And check it out. DeathSquad.tv and click on tour dates.
So many great people on that show last night.
And I want to. What do I want to do? Yeah, Holtzman.store if you want to buy any Dead Air T-shirts. And I have something that I forgot to give you.
Oh, and you got a Patreon now.
Yeah, you want to talk about that?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was totally eyeing that one, and I needed a new keychain. Thank you.
Oh,
If
wow.
you go to
Yeah.
Patreon and type in Brian Holtzman, you can subscribe to his Patreon.
Oh, just Holtzman.
Just
That is so
Holtzman.
cool.
Holtzman, and it's
Does it open up and you can put
No,
your
no.
weed in it or
bunch
something?
of extra stuff for Holtzman, like videos and photos and all that stuff.
These are just kind of a novelty. I wouldn't really trust the Corvette keys on that thing, Tom. But it's a novelty, and you can put things maybe like the mailbox key, maybe, or something. It's not that if I don't want to be responsible for somebody losing a house keys because they, Anyway, so yeah, a Patreon, and it's $3 only. That's the day job tier. There will only be one tier, and that will be the $3 tier. Thank you, Tom. Patreon tier at this point, and follow me on Brian Holtzman on YouTube, and maybe the Monday I might be on the next Kill Tony.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Look for that. I had a wonderful time, and Austin's been great, and everybody's friendly in Austin. Thanks, Tom, Felicia. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody, for listening, and we'll play you out with Bad Ashley. Bad Ashley's the music provided for us. Thank you.